kwani mashakil bijere salambi wansulu kanina kulu hibu badu ya jama mashakil bijere salambi wansulu salam alaikum alaikum salam salam alaikum alaikum salam salam dema binadi beti ya kwani na kan belet ma fi fogo salam dema binadi belet ya kwani na kan shokol tatu ma fi fogo salam dema binadi shokol ya kwani.
مساء الخير سلام بتاعكم كل الجنوبين happy Saturday. Before I go ahead, to those who are here, please make sure you share the video, share it to groups, WhatsApp, messengers, with friends. Even you can pin friends or tag friends to come in and let us come and chat, have a chit chat, and see how are we gonna go tonight. من غيرك ما هيبقى حلو for sure. تحياتي لك كتير من مكان خاص. Don't hesitate, please share the video. Nowadays أنا شايف ناس كتير قاعدين يخافوا من لايفات. ناس قاعدين يخافوا من لايفات. إنت كان في جنوب معلش، لكن إنت كان برا. I think there is nothing wrong to share the video, unless if you have planned that as everybody is saying أنا لسه ماشي في الجنوب، أنا لسه عندي أهل في الجنوب. It's okay, it's alright. أن إحنا كان ما جينا بصوت واحد ما هيكون في تغيير. If I have to come here and talk to myself alone without having your opinion or word to support our brothers back home, in order for us to bring change, is not going to happen. So I appreciate your presence and thanks for being here. Please share. Let me play another song and then I will come back. I will have to play another song. Today life is different, Jama. Just bear with me minutes.
Ya Allah, asuma kore tapelete, ya ana klebe dia ukiwonu.
Yala, ita sana ubele.
That was so quick. I'm expecting this song to run more than 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Anyways, بسلم عليكم مرة أخرى. Sorry, lots of notifications. Um, I will share as I'm still gonna play another song. في أغاني كتير you can say أغاني ده كلمات بتاعه معاني بتاعه a lot have lots of meaning and have a lot to do with our current condition in South Sudan. It's not just listening girl music or masalan my favorite singer is so and so, but again if you sit and listen to the music itself and listen to the words, it will tell you أغلبية بتاع أغاني بتاع الشباب بتاعنا في جنوب السودان have a lot to do with our situation, our South Sudan condition. Our young youth, or Nogul, our youth are facing a lot, and they can express their feeling only through those songs. أنا شايف واحدين برضو بقى يعني زي ممثلين بيمثلوا real stories، حاجات اللي قاعد يحصل real life في الريل لايف بتاعهم في حياة بتاعهم. they talking about it in different way. They try to bring out what they have in their heart, what they have in their plates, what they have in their circles as a youth. عشان كده بعد مرات I don't really like to listen لأغاني ما تابع لجنوب السودان. ما قال أنا رئيسيس، لكن أنا دي الحاجة اللي بخش هنا، وحاجة اللي بيحبشني اللي بيخليني أنا أتألم مثلا، ولا اللي بيخليني مثلا أنا أشوف نفسي أنا I will put myself in the same shoes بتاع الناس اللي بيطلعوا أغاني ديل ولا اللي بيمثلوا حاجات اللي قاعد يحصل في جنوب السودان. Those are true stories in life. So I'm so proud of them, proud of our boys and girls, proud of our youth, and those who are always there to create, to be creative and create songs that you can see yourself in. So the mahaja lakin yeah, let me play Silver X.
Silver X is a remix pattern. Remember, it's a Holy Land family. Fresh mind, fresh ideas from studio. I live with Dunia. Mama, but this is your call, madam. Latin, Bekele Mugali, come tomorrow. Ana biga taban, tomorrow tamune. I give to mommy, mama. I live with Dunia. Mama, but this is your call, madam. Latin, Bekele Mugali, come tomorrow. Ana biga taban, tomorrow tamune. I give to mommy, mama. Kalam di hagigi, alegi ya madam. Matelo manasaki, ana live with Dunia. Ana biga taban, ana biga taban. Sumavi ya terito ila bezukutu. Wale kama Toria, Aleka, Raji, wale kia madam. Ila tena kama koyo, wale kama Siko. Badmara kama kwete, Sadakilbo iyala fibe. Wanaburu wakati suwe ya nota shugul. Biga Musai Gafi. Sana kama ntasuru Araban. Titaram, Bahar Sanket. Yalkere akulu nipsu. Olua mederesa. Musal Baltomod. Ay, mami, ay. Silver X. I live with Dunia. Mama, but this is your call, madam. Latin, Bekele Mugali, come tomorrow. Arabiga taban, tomorrow tamune. I give to mommy, mama. I live with Dunia. Mama, but this is your call, madam. Latin, Bekele Mugali, come tomorrow. Arabiga taban, tomorrow tamune. I give to mommy, mama. The calamnesia, alekun ya shabab. The calamnesia, alekun ya shabab. Itakashilu tala, ya shihul. Mafta, al-mabizol bin aro, ita. Fi aslan besil, Mombasa do ita. Always want the cool, Nesim taki bunu. Ifetli be cool, Abu taki bunu. Talata be cool, Lebila taki sunu. Warba be cool, Ita jami faith. Mabizol bin asadu si kada lita enu. Taki Gori le ana sabi biga faida sunu anara mederesa sita shasana wana kan bi fikir gali ana kan kalasu mederesa tai ana bija shilu musuliyata mama tai wana kan bi fikir ana kan kalasu mederesa tai ana bija shilu musuliyata abu tai mama tai ma iyal tatto lakin kulu zaman tabana gali come tomorrow lakin kulu zaman tabana gali come tomorrow takunde ana biga taban ana live dunia ring but this is your call man lakin bekele mugali come tomorrow ana biga taban tomorrow tamunde agir tu ma mama ana live dunia mama but this is your call madam lakin bekele mugali come tomorrow ana biga taban tomorrow tamunde agir tu ma mama ana live dunia ring but this is your call madam lakin bekele mugali come tomorrow ana biga taban tomorrow tamunde agir tu ma mama ana live dunia mama but this is your call madam lakin bekele mugali come tomorrow ana biga taban tomorrow tamunde agir tu ma mama.
اوكي مرحبا بك. بسلم لكم مرة أخرى. سلام من لاندنج زون and زيل رايس تي في زوم تي في هاي ديفينيشن. انت في هناك؟ اوكي. So بداية
I hope that is sort of, but I'm not quite sure about myself.
your voice is loud and clear.
Okay. All right then. Yep, go ahead.
قدرت أسلم شاب؟ سلم للجمهور. Then we
ما انت ما خلصت لسه. All right.
أنا سلمت مرتين.
Okay. Viewers of Landing Zone HD, my greetings to you. It's been a while since you had the do presenting. I do welcome you. My revolutionary greetings to all of you. I hope you would be able to share this live show as much as you can and get more of your friends wherever they are to watch the video. As always, as we put it, we don't claim to be experts in what we are saying here, but we are just trying to say what we think is going on with all the materials that we'll be presenting. So with that, I would say I'll yield the mic back to you, Queen, to continue. Thank you.
Thanks compatriot Nderenda. And good to have you back. And welcome, brother Joseph. I don't know who's engineer down there. Anyways, the topic is very clear. Today we're talking about a political crisis that unfolded in South Sudan. We have seen a lot going on for the last couple of weeks. I believe it's a month or so. South Sudan has been going through hard time. In fact, that we have seen lots of fighting across the region or across the state. People being killed left and right in different corners of South Sudan. Be it Ugandan forces, South Sudan People Defense Force, and you have also the Rapid Support Forces involved. So all these targeted attack have been given, the regime is given a green light for those neighboring countries to come in and start killing its own citizen or citizen of South Sudan. That's supposed to be protected by the system that we have at the moment. But unfortunately, that we know today, and not only today, we knew that long time ago, we don't have a government. We have country, but unfortunately, there is no government. Because I never seen in any world, in any country in this world, the government invite or bring allies from different countries to come and attack certain groups within the country. Not even opposition, but communities. So that's make us to raise our eyebrows and see and make a decision what type of system that we have in South Sudan, what type of leaders that we have today in South Sudan. Unfortunately, I don't see them as a leaders, because if you really leader, you lead by example. If you really leaders, you do the right thing. That's in order for you to protect the country, constitution of the country, including the citizen that you have in the country. But all these have failed through the system that we have today, and this is whereby I don't recognize them as a government. I see them as a regime, because they are not qualified, to be honest. They are not qualified to be called government, because they don't do what's supposed to be done by government. Also, we knew that when you have country and you have government in system, always government have institutions. In our position, we don't have also institutions. So that's also make me to feel like really, for me to label them, they are not government, is pretty much makes sense, because there is a lot. Today we're going to talk about all this crisis is happening in South Sudan and is still going on. And we have some videos. We'll bring it up later on for you, and then we will go through it, discuss it. If you feel you want to join us, don't hesitate, please. You can request and come up. Also, I will put the link down. Just make sure you follow the instruction from the link, or follow the instruction that the link will direct you, and we will bring you up on the screen to join us in this discussion. The other thing that I want to say here today is please, respect is very important. We don't tolerate anyone to insult or write a negative comment. We will delete your comment if you write comment that really negative in comment section. We have to delete it, and we will warn you once, twice, third times. We might make a terrible decision to remove you, and we really don't want to remove anyone from these platforms. We need you, because all of us working together, we are good teamwork. So we need your presence here, because you're the one gonna be a messenger or ambassador to take our words to those who are not here today. So if you want to come up also, today is weekend in Australia, and on the other side of the countries it's Friday afternoon. Please, if you're happy, just listen to us. Next time you can come up, because we're not going to delete any video, unfortunately.
Let them be happy. And
بعدين بجي بقول لنا يا مولانا، يجي بيقول لنا قال والله انا كان ما اعرف، والله معلش can you this video and this, because we're not going to delete no video. So if you feel like
nothing is being
you want to
deleted.
do that, so just be on safe side, listen to us, and next time you will join us, and we'll have a good discussion also. So I think I'm here. I will hand the mic back to you if you wanna start.
Well, like I said, we are here trying to make sense of a few things. It is true that the South Sudan is at the crossroad, as it is on the topic of this live show. South Sudan is at a crossroads where you can almost say it is for South Sudan to be or not to be, simply because the regime has done everything it can do to ruin the country. And before I go really too much into what I want to say, let me just categorically make it clear that the way South Sudan is trending now and the tracking, it resonates with what I call the country is climbing into the abyss. And if you know what an abyss is and what climbing is, they don't match. An abyss goes downward and climbing goes up. No one who falls into the abyss climbs. You cannot climb into the abyss. You can continue to fall. That's the whole idea. It looks like that's the type of things that this regime is doing. And it is clear. I can recall one thing that the dictator Kir said once. He said that the day he will move out of that seat as a president of South Sudan, he will be sure that he ruined the country so much that whoever comes after him will find it so difficult to rebuild it. And of course, a country that can be ruined to that extent, you can only define it as a country that the people of the country has been dispersed all over the world. Everything, you name it, every institution of the government is destroyed, dismantled. Everything that you know that will make up a country is dismantled. And everything, and just go there and go to the infrastructures, you name it. So everything would be dismantled. I do believe that the South Sudan is at that. Kir has made sure that's what he's doing. At the same time, he's made sure that people get confused. That's why you would be so surprised to find some Union who would tell you that everything is fine, the country is peaceful, the country is secure, everything is going on, and then you will go like, which country are you talking about? Because it doesn't sound like you're talking about South Sudan. Because the relative walking around say, let me take Juba, because it seems to the regime, Juba is South Sudan. It's not the other places. It's not the other towns or cities and everything else. And that's exactly what the Ansar al-Fatah, Ansaf Ansar al-Fatah, Arba Ansaf Ansar al-Fatah, the Gen Council surrogate kids, supporters of the regime, seems to believe South Sudan is Juba. Because you ask any one of them, they will talk about Juba. They won't be talking about Wow, they won't be talking about Malakal, they won't be talking about Tony, Rumbek, or Warap, or Abyei, or any other place, Bantu, you name it. So let's talk about that Juba. That's South Sudan. I walk around in the city, that people go around Boda Boda or Shunubena or they think that is the peace. That's the security. That is not it, really. Because if it's a matter of walking around the city during the day, you can do that anywhere, even in hell. You can walk around during the day. You cannot take that and use it as the basis of this is the security. Hence, every time there is a talk about why are things happening, you then go and tell people, no, the country is quiet, everything's, in the best that you can tell. So why am I saying the country is at the crossroad? The country at the crossroad because look at where we are now. The regime has done all the best and has been doing it for a very long time to ensure that agreement is not implemented. That we all know that. We don't need to go into detail. That agreement that we refused to be part of in 2018. So it has been working systematically to ensure it doesn't go anywhere. The worst case for the regime was the fact that the leader of the SPLM-IO, probably he knew what was going on. He decided to play along in a way that he just sat there as a stumbling block for the regime. And the regime couldn't do a thing. And so forth. All the issues that has been going on. it was all bringing, each day is bringing the regime and the country itself into into that crossroads of collapsing. When we don't want to talk about collapsing, because collapsing is a word that overused, and it doesn't, almost, it's becoming, it has no meaning of it. But the reality is the country is gone. It is a matter of taking the last remaining handful of grenades and throw it in, and then the whole thing will explode. That's it. That's simple as that. Western Equatoria had an issue already going on. The cause, regime. Western Barakazal has the issue going on. The cause, regime. Issues happening, مشاكل حصل في وراب، في أبيي، في تونج، في رومبيك، في بنتيو، في ناصر as the latest one، في Central Equatoria، في Eastern Equatoria. The cause, regime. And of course, the biggest blunder of Nasser. That biggest blunder of Nasser, whereby now the regime realized they were trying to, and that's what, if you want to do something, don't have like 20 plans at the same time, because you might not be able to control all these plans. You will get confused because each one of them has different trace. It has different outcome. And it looks like the regime has just lost it because they've started everything and get it going. And they got to Nasser, started Nasser 1, on the wrong side of it. And it is the same them who decided to send militia to disarm militia. How do you do that?
Unfortunately, also, they lost it big time. You can see the result that's coming out from Nasser. And lately also from Moyom. That was yesterday, just yesterday.
No, this Moyom, this white army, these are the people's uprising. That is the kind of an uprising that tells the regime that this is just one type. How about the rest that are brewing now? The rest that are brewing, the day it will all explode, you won't handle it. Okay.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm trying to say. The regime lost it because at the same time they want to get rid of the leader of IO. Very long time. Somebody woke up in the middle of night and said, "Hey, Modubat Nasser looks like it's a good one. We can make use of it." People of South Sudan, the international community, the regional organizations have always been said Dr. Riek was under house arrest. The regime kept saying in a big mouthful that Dr. Riek is never under house arrest. But then the regime found it easy now. Quickly, they go, okay, we arrested him, but he's in his house. So now they want to make it official. So all these other times it was unofficial arrest. But now, يا دوبك زي تمجيد زي بوليس جاك في بيت دار يعمل تفتيش في بيتك قلت له without أي warranty أنا ما بسمع عليكم تخشوا جوا البيت. لأن بيقوم يقعدوا خشم باب يمنعوك مرة تطلع برا من البيت على بال ما هم يمشوا للقاضي يطلعوا الwarrant to search your house. This is exactly what happened with Dr. Riek. So all this time he was under house arrest. But because the regime did not find warrant بتاع عشان يعطوا حجة كتب بطريقة official, they kept him like that. You cannot go anywhere, you cannot move anywhere. أنت كندر تقلب سامبلا بس سالوك تقلب تعين كتير هناك ليه وحاجات ده كله. Until they cooked out Nasser. And the moment they cooked out Nasser, they managed so hard to link it, Nasser to him. And of course, they are the only one who are controlling their media. They are the only one who's doing whatever they want to do. So they managed at the end of it to say, now we are arresting Dr. Riek. We are arresting him. He's at home arrest. Come on, Mr. You cannot do that. Take him to Blue House. Make it clear. You might as well just let him keep coming to work and go back to his Talamo. He's just for home arrest. But that's what he was doing before. Under home arrest, and he will come to the office. Let him continue to do this, and he's not going anywhere. He proved to you he's not going anywhere. So then you can do your own investigation. But anyhow, where are we with all of this? Because the regime is finding it hard. شوية ناس people in a small part of the country have managed to dislodge the so-called mighty SSPDF, the mighty militia of the regime. So dislodge them. So the regime decided, of course, the regime is not being on its own. The regime decided to go to their godfather to seek assistance. Right? So they decided to go to their godfather. Benahar Mishfok, I need assistance. What is assistance? Not I have a nas ayanin, wiyal, malagin adwiya, nutritious, wala, another buzura, nazara, fi mahalat mazare, another taraktarat, wala another hajad. These are the kind of assistance anyone would expect if we have to get to that point in this country called South Sudan. Not just from the godfather, but any country in the world, you go, you want buzur, you want taraktarat, maharis, all of this. You want adwia, beta cholera, adwia, beta malaria, adwia, beta shunudak. These are the things you need. If you're running around with this type of request for assistance, nobody will blame you. But then again, the one question that will be there is, what exactly are you doing with the billions of dollars you're getting the revenue from the crude oil? That probably be the question, but still, people will find someone. You said you want 1 million sack of dura, will delete ashara, because that's something reasonable. But when you go to assist, to ask for request, for assistance, and your request is a military request, because you want to bypass the arm embargo that's being sitting on your shoulder for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going so that look at the I'll get to that point anyway. Maybe we'll see it somewhere later on. You're going to ask for your neighboring country or whatever country. It doesn't need to be neighboring. It can be any country, to send their troops to come and assist you, to assist actually your militia, to go and fight another militia. It is first of all, it is shameful on that country that will give you the troops.
Uganda, exactly.
It is shameful. You're now not being asked to go and fight a proper trained army. You're being asked to go and fight a militia. It's shameful. It is shameful. At least that first bit that we leave it there for them. It's shameful for a country to do that. It's just like going to ask the Marines in the United States of America to come and assist you to go fight nas al-usud fi Gharb al-Ghazal. What the hell are you doing? What does that mean? Well, I am fight nas Arab boys.
Unfortunately, also when you see the victim who fall on that hujumat is only children and women. There is I haven't seen one of the white army fallen or have been targeted and killed by this group of or ally with UPDF plus South Sudan People Defense Force. They only kill women and children and elders people and disabled people. Those are the people who were targeted and killed.
Just before you continue, welcome compatriot brother Krikuju Marodama. Greetings to you as well. Yeah. So back to what I was saying, it's shameful to see that happening, that a properly trained army is being deployed to assist another country, whatever that country is, to fight their own militia. It would have been nice to fight the rebels. That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. But again, Ma'alena, we all know what is going on. South Sudan is a province of Uganda. By the look at very, very many things, that's what it is. South Sudan is not a sovereign country as we think it is, because the regime, unfortunately, have decided to make it that way. Because that raises a lot of questions. Where is this mighty militia? We are the mighty, we are the liberators, we liberated you, and we will do. Now I go like Ashara best 10. 10 white army, dislodge you, get rid of your generals, يطردوكم ويبرجلوكم يخلوكم لما تمرقوا من الدولة تمشي دولة ثانية تجيبوا assistance من هناك. What is that? Where is all of that? Where is all جد أنا هي والله أنا هنا we will do, we can do. Now do it في ناصر so that we know, the rest of us know, no, there's no way. Look at what happened. But no, unfortunately, God is on the side of the people of South Sudan. That's why you see what is happening. They bombarded Nasser, not even a single white army has fallen. Instead, it is the innocent people. And of course, as we always say, when there is war, there will be casualties. This is collateral damage. We are sorry that things like that will happen to innocent people. But that is what exactly the regime is doing. By not bombarding where the white army is, instead go and bombard it where the civilians are.
I remember the same thing. I remember the same thing happened also in 1990s when SPLM is bombarding Juba. The bombs are always falling on where civilians live instead of targeting the barracks of Bundukurat al-Fishamal kan Gadim fi Juba, or maybe Qiyad al-Amma or whatever it is. You guys have witnessed that, right? It was it in 80s or 90s? I believe it's
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was in 90s.
That was the same tactic.
Yeah.
That was the same tactic.
Yeah. Okay. As if that there is not enough what is happened to them in Nasser. Now all this time when they were ganging up to officially arrest Dr. Riek and to put him under house arrest, they were planning Mayom. And that's what I said early on. You cannot open so many fronts at the same time. You will get confused and you will never manage it. Especially Lamanikunda Kasakir Yanin. Asakir, who now their loyalty to you is not based on their duty to the country, but their loyalty to you is because they talk the same or they speak the same language that you speak.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Right?
I was laughing. I was laughing when
that one.
Yeah, I was laughing earlier or yesterday when I saw his video telling this. You come stand here and push this table away. Hinaka will give the you stand here and there. I was laughing and I got really, huh?
And these are the things. So that's why what happened in Mayom twice in a row is a slap in the face of the regime. Analo kunte regime, all operations, military operations, will be ceased forever. Now this is shameful. Nas muatinin bes muatinin sakit itallo enak mushu mahal wahid to prove to you they can do it over and over again and again. They did it many times. Like, where is next? And don't you think that causes the remaining South Sudanese who are already up to with you to really get more courage? They can beat you up anywhere. That's the message. But the regime has got its head buried so deep into where sun never shines. That's why they cannot think about it that way. They will continue to do that the way they're thinking it is. Coming to this M7 thingy. M7 knew immediately, starting from the Ziyarata with Raila Odinga. It is true. The regime actually, without any shame, told him to go to M7.
Okay, let me bring Raila Odinga on. We hear his message, then we will go to Dreji and we finish from under Nagul Warile from Raila, and then we move on with the press secretary of J1 of presidential or President Salva Kiir.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yep. Let me bring this up.
Him and his wife and a number of other people. This is what concerned the leadership in the region. The situation in South Sudan is explosive and can explode any time. So I had a lengthy discussion with President Kiir, who told me about challenges they're facing, that there was a killing of a general and about 10 other people in the town of Nasir in the Upper Nile. And this is what they're actually investigating. And because of this, he said that Vice President Dr. Riek Machar had been placed under house arrest as they continue with their investigations. From Juba, I asked to be allowed to talk to Dr. Machar, but they were not able to allow me to see him. They recommended that I meet with President Museveni. So from Juba, I went to Entebbe. I had a meeting with President Museveni. I reported to him what I had found in South Sudan. And after lengthy discussions, he said he was going to get in touch with President Kiir. So we agreed that I would go back to Juba later. So I've come back here, and I just want to say that it is a work in progress. I'm going to make a report to President Ruto and Prime Minister Abiy and President Gele of my findings in South Sudan. The situation requires international attention. I'm happy with the UN for getting engaged in what's going on in South Sudan. I think it is a situation that warrants intervention by international community. Thank you.
If you can say it in Swahili.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. What did you hear and what do you want to tell us?
Yeah, look, regardless of what the regime came back later after that and said, no, they did not do that. Hey, there are things we need to look at first closely. Raila has no reason to make up or concoct any story. Raila had no intention to come to Juba, from Kenya to Juba, then to Uganda. He would have gone to Entebbe, then come straight to Juba after that. But he came from Nairobi straight to Juba. When he asked to speak to Dr. Machar, listen to that next word he used. It was recommended. Okay, after he was told you are unable to meet with Dr. Riek, but we recommend that you go and see M7. Let us drop everything. Why? Zol da jay min hinak kamabus besikapto jay lek adil itasid alwaja ita عندك المشكلة. I am the one who has my arms paining me, صداع وانا راقد فاتة في سرير. دكاترة في جنبي. You come to see me. Why would I tell you, you know what? I recommend before I can go with other things, letting you know, go and see President Trump. Why am I recommending that? For what? That's the question. For what? Then we will fill the gap. Recommend, you go, before you can actually, we can allow you to talk to this dictator here, which we find it hard to make it clear, because the indication is M7 is the one who amal amrutat gab in yakbudu Dr. Riek. That's why for anyone else to access him, that has to come from him again. Allow this person. Allow this person to see Dr. Riek. Hence, Raila was sent away nicely. not go back to Ruto. Ruto should have the upper hand right now. Isn't this same Ruto al Kir Mashalo Galo side ni fi salam na mujib salam utamaini matamaini.
My brother, my brother.
At this stage, Ruto should be the highest one to be consulted, because this is the issues of which Kir approached Ruto to initiate Tomaini, isn't it? And M7 is not part of that. Okay? Now, if that is the case, then you would have told Raila, hey, how about you go back to President Ruto, talk to him, then we will figure out what to do next. That was not the case. So that will move me again by analyzing that properly, that the Amrigabduta React came from M7, and hence no one can see M7 without the permission of M7. And this regime is living in the 20th, in the 15th century, the agreement. Telefonat into mashkila. They don't use phone to call each other. That is how when they came to us in Rome, عشان يعمل مشاورات مع جماعة بتنور, they had to jump back in طيارات ويركبوا طيارة يرجعوا لهذا في جوبا just عشان يشاوروا. They cannot call each other. They can never consult over the phone. So if what that recommendation was all about, they could have just made that call or make it through over the call. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it that way. Now, let me quickly link to this same to prove that the Amr React was from M7. Permission for anyone to see Dictator must come from M7. Look at what happened. These wise people with they wanted to visit React, so? But before even getting there, M7 made sure he was in Juba before they arrived, so he can talk the sense into Governor Tal Sakir al Rasu Mashakal al Kharab Khalas to let him know, no matter what, you're not caving in. Lanu, this governor was going to cave in Idab Saba, as wise man. Because siyasa bataran did, why should they come as kubar kalis? So he would have going to cave in and say, okay, kalas shufu. That's why, again, when the wise wanted to see Dictator React, it was refused. And by Yasmin Munu, in the same M7. So the same scenario repeats itself. Go ahead for the next one.
Okay, I will play this one, then I will give.
What do you want to know?
Thank you very much. My name is Mabio Shilo. I'm reporting to Arabia Al Hadith TV. Michael Makwe said Dictator Riek is under house arrest. And now you are saying Riek Machar is not under house arrest.
I did not say that, my brother.
Okay.
I said the wife.
You talk about her wife. Okay. His wife. And if let me come to the second question. It's about, did His Excellency Raila Odinga ask President Kiir to see Riek Machar in his house or not? Thank you.
Yeah, he did. But the reply was that the first vice president is under investigation. And even the president promised him that next time when you come after consultation with the rest of the member states, you may find a chance to meet and talk to him. Someone else. Mutasa.
Okay, that's actually the bit that just I wanted. He totally denied President did not say to Raila Odinga to go and meet M7. But if you see the whole thing, when Zemeta Zakarta Gibel, Raila mind your intention to come to Juba. He have been appointed to come. And not only Ruto, Abiy Ahmed as well. Two of them, they appointed him to come to Juba, investigate, and do whatever that mandate have been given to him. Unfortunately, after meeting Kir, they denied him to meet Riek, and they directed him the way as we all heard. For them to come and deny this, Now, yesterday, after, notice the day before yesterday, when those of panel of wires came to Juba, they also have been denied access. That automatically confirm. Okay, that automatically confirm Raila Odinga is right. Although President Dere deny, the press secretary Hina Dere deny, whoever wanted to deny, Kalam Bita Raila Odinga automatically true. Because if Uman Lokan in the wisdom, if they deny to Odinga, they're supposed to let this panel of wise to meet react. عشان هم مثلا يقدر يكذبوا منو رايلا ودينغا, but they did not play this card with the smartness here. They confirm kalam bita Odinga straight away through, and that at the reaction le some of the activists fi Kenya to talk nonsense about South Sudanese leaders. I don't know the nonsense, but that's the fact. They have said what they're supposed to say, because belittling leaders bitam and making them look like liars, I think is wrong. لأنه ناس دي عندهم bilateral relationship, عندهم friendship, عندهم businesses together, whatever you name it. Those two leaders كان كينيا مع South Sudan عندهم a strong relationship. يعني انت لما تدي عدم احترام للليدرز بتاع البلد اللي انت عندك معاهم مثلا strong relationship, بدي لحاجات تانية بيسحر. يمكن الدولة ذاك يقوم يقطع منك حاجات، ممكن يقوم يقطع معك تايس، ممكن يقوم يقطع معك حاجات انت ما قدرت تسمعه، وده هيحصل. انا شايف ناس كتير في كينيا قاعدين يقولوا they demanding apology from South Sudanese leaders. And this is the same thing لما كان اسمه شنو مهوزي لما مايكل مكوي نكر على اساس انه ما في وجود بتاع UPDF في جوبا. مهوزي عمل لك صغير في اكس. مايكل next day نادلك ناس ميديا هاوسز كله الساعه 3:30 you have to be here. ناس جورو ناس جو لما قال هاي ناس UPDF في جوبا هنا. And before that day he forced the iRadio to apologize. Why? Because they publish the attendance of UPDF in Juba. They forced them to delete it, and apology letter was issued to Michael Mokwe. The next day, بدون فدية جاب formal مليان جاء برهان بأنه فعلا في UPDF في جوبا. ناس ديل غير كذب، ما عندهم حاجة غير إجرام، ما عندهم حاجة غير كلامات الفارغ. هم ما بيعرفوا منو صديقهم ومنو ما صديقهم. ياكلوا معك في صحن يقوموا يوسخوا فوقه. And ويليام روتو زي ما انت قلت عليه المفروض يكون ما له يد وما له مركزه، لانه he been through this. لما سلفاكير مشى له قال له my brother I want you to bring the whole that group. ويليام روتو ليب معه كده حبل فاروا كديس سكوا بعضهم. في النهايه شنو جادا دوس opposition ناس قاعدين في نيروبي ما معروف محلهم وين، ما معروف هسه ده برنامج ده ماشي ولا ما ماشي بتتمايني. Today who wrestle Raila Odinga في Juba is the same manipulation that Salva Kiir played against Ruto and Abiy Ahmed. Or those are his friends. They are the my ties. بوريك بانه فعلا ان احنا ما عندنا قادة، ما عندنا leaders في الجنوب، ما عندنا ناس اللي بيريبريزنت us في الجنوب. They're criminals and bunch of مجرمين ساكت. There's nothing there. That's why you can see the country is going downhill instead of to look bright, feed development, fish, you know. If we have this type of mujrimin, what do you expect us to have? You know? So if you have something you can add, then we move on.
Yeah, let me start with the comment with Sidomik Rikujinak. Yep, Sid Bet Kampala da giga, and that was the reason why the recommendation is always to send Raila to go to Kampala to talk to Sid Bet. Now, here's another thing. This press secretary, as you've mentioned, Krikuyu, yes, I don't know, only in South Sudan, that you go and find somebody Sukuruji in Uganda, you bring that person to Galu.
في clubhouse?
يا ساتر يا رب.
He used to be with us in clubhouse.
ما علينا بلا بتجي جنوب السودان كثير. First, this guy has his own ketuk betaw farasu shakal, you know, and fomru ma man sabalo fog de besa ukan ma fakar na hayjibu la man yajibu gidam nas. Fizol bes gad gab kalim. Ay, namshi kalas wala shunu. Ay, lanu malian, rasu de malian, darlo ituru. Guys, he needs to work it up. Now, let me tell you something he said. He said, Yaki, yes, Raila did ask to see Dr. Machar. But then it is the next statement that he said. And I'm going to bring it back to this wise man with Canada. Galiaki, maybe when a consultation is made with the member states, then maybe one day when you come, you'll be able to get a chance to talk to Dr. Machar. De kalam al hugal, sa? That's Sukuruji secretary. Okay. Now here's the problem. The wise men, by the way they are formed, they are the members of the state in the region. Why were they denied to talk? But this is politics. If you are saying something in politics, it has to have a meaning somewhere. If you are saying a consultation must be carried out first with the member of states, as if you actually had that consultation first before you can arrest Dr. Machar Fibetu, I have other meanings to get from that consultation as well that you're talking about. That's why you need consultation for anyone else. Then it comes down singly. This is just a generalization to throw people off that consultation of member states with the member states. That consultation is a generalization to throw people off the fact that they have actually commended Raile to go and see M7. So that's what they meant. They never meant anyone else. That is just a phrase. Like he said, if you listen to that whole press release, and conference with our press secretary, what did he say? Oh, this is what I was told to come and read. This is what I was told to come and read. That's it. So he had nothing out of his own mind that he has made there. He said in that press conference. Anything he has said that he uttered in that press conference is what he was told to say. And because he's so dumb, he couldn't even understand what does it mean. Consultation with the member states. What does it recognize? What does it allude to? It was a phrase thrown there to cover up the recommendation for Emerson. But when the wise man came around, who represent the member states, they were also denied the same Talabat Raila. تكون سكوري كمان at least في يومين دول يكون عينه فاضي عشان تعرف تكلم لا عرب نعرف في وقت ومكوي كان could have come up with that but مكوي داري يجرب ده كمان تلقى مكوي ذاته كان لط لنهاية. That's why خلوا ده يمشي قدام. Yeah, I don't believe it is him. It is someone else. As far as he said that this is what I was told to come and read, so it wasn't him who wrote that press release. Probably someone else, and I don't think it is. Probably it is Martin Elia. And if Martin Elia, Dr. Martin كتبه كمان هيكونوا كان كمان مليان بنص ويسكي كامل كده already, and then he had to write that one out, and then to insist this is how it should go. After a quick check, probably both of them were, or the three of them were all drinking together. He was the one who was told, Ita, you are the press secretary with a bunch. You're going to sit in front of them. So mata sharab katir. But what the fishaklu? He had it a lot.
That's
a lot.
Right. Okay, let us move to the next. Let us see reaction. One of the reaction that I just pull one of them. There is many of them in TikTok actually. I just wanted that one because there's a lot in it. Let me see.
But I will trust Raila Odinga more than Salva Kiir. Anybody who detains his own VP along with the wife and the children is a petty dictator that must be ousted through any means necessary. And if the president was serious about this, he would cut all diplomatic ties with the corrupt South Sudanese regime. They cannot put an entire VP under house arrest and then they mock a peace envoy led by Raila by sending them to a neighboring country. Can you just imagine, umeamuka asubuhi, you have problems with your Safaricom SIM card. You go to customer care ya Safaricom, maybe at Junction Mall, and they tell you, bwana, hii shida yako, go to Airtel. What has Airtel got to do with this SIM card ya Safaricom? It's the same question we are wondering. What has Museveni got to do with you arresting your own vice president? That was a very big insult to the efforts of Kenya. Remember, Raila Odinga was not there on his own capacity. He is a peace envoy from Kenya, meaning he's there on the mandate of the president. Iyo madharau si kwa Raila peke yake, inarudi pia kwa rais, inarudi pia kwa Kenya, na inarudi pia kwa wale supporters wa the vice president. Unless Salva Kiir is such a weak leader that he also takes orders from a third world country like Uganda. Sisemi Uganda, they're not doing well. We are all third world countries. We are trying to improve ourselves. Sasa wewe unachukua directive from somebody who's just like you. That was very shameful. The South Sudanese government should be issuing an apology to the Republic of Kenya. Failure to which we cut all diplomatic ties and economic ties. Wakae vile wataka. At the end of the day, heshima si utumwa.
Okay.
That is true. That's what he said. It is terrible. It is terrible, terrible, terrible. When I gave that analogy of the I am in bed, sick bed, what is Trump has to do with my sickness? You know? So it is true. But I cannot blame Kenyans to ask the so-called regime, so-called government in Sudan to issue an apology. They can apology. It has to be apology made out of 3,000 words. Yeah. Apology. It should not be just guam winte. Made out of 3,000 words. Yes, let it be. I know there's few junubin haygulenu on the randa aseta gad gul kalam da ita shakla ajnabi ita ma junubi ma indak wataniya ya rajil ده ما فوق وطنيه ده ما كلام وطنيه هنا وطنيتنا قابت مرمت بالارض في الطين لجنوه في كل حاجه ها في الروز بتاع بقر تيجي تقول لي قال انت كلامك ده ما المفروض تقوله كده لا I will say it that way because the truth hurt. The truth is always truth. It hurts. But it must be said and it must be acted upon. Because yes, Kenyans have the right to ask for that.
Yeah.
So
okay, come in.
Oh, no. What I wanted to add in there is that if the regime is in its almighty that they keep proclaiming and portraying to the people that yake wala indum gawanin imam bihtaram gawanin الدبلوماسية والبلا blah blah blah. How did this pass them? How come that they never recognize Raila that he's coming as someone who is really sawa mazol with the UN envoy representative of the UN? Hey, this is what Raila is. Why couldn't they recognize it? Why just tell him okay, yeah, you go somewhere? But then if they just, even if they wanted to know whether Riek will say something different, do they think Raila Raila was going to say, okay, just only the two of us, no one here? Mauman, they said they have this security stuff. They could have, okay, sweep a room, make sure it is done. Oh, yep. جيب دكتور رياك خطوه في مكتب رئيس وامره قبره خلوه في مكتب رئيس خلوه معه زول واحد اسمه. It's not a big deal. المهم, as a country, you would look like you have actually confirmed and given that idea. Because since you're saying, you're making your investigation, but you're going to listen to what Riek is saying to Raila in your presence, and there will be no problem. You won't lose anything anyway. You know? It's not like Raila is going to just sit there the moment he see Riek and وقت يده في سايس عشان يسلم في يده سلام boom يقوم يختفوا vanish in thin air. It's not going to happen like that. It's not going to happen that way. So you should be much better than that rather than say nah I'm just شوف موزة في كمبالا أول Anyway, welcome, compatriot Muhammad.
Oh, thank you, Brother Lion. I think you guys are doing great on analysis of the episode in South Sudan. I think you didn't fall far away from that Kenyan analogy of the MTN or the telephone company's SIM card, and your first analogy is just right on money. And the reality is that the situation in South Sudan, when you look at Raila Odinga being basically that is like beneath what South Sudan have done to envoy of that been sent by Bob Igat and AU. As Raila stated clearly, that if you guys listen deeply, that he is there representing the Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia and Kenyan president, and also the Djibouti, the new chair of AU. In which it tells us that South Sudan regime, indeed, they really care about diplomacy. They don't care about diplomacy. And the message that also is sending to the Southern Sudan is that, look, Southern Sudan doesn't control their own destiny. The destiny is controlled by Museveni. And that is the fact. If the destiny is not controlled by Museveni, how comes all of a sudden Museveni end up in South Sudan for 2 days? What does it tell you and me as the sons and the daughter of the land? That tells us that somewhere South Sudan is being controlled by the remote in the neighboring countries. Yes, indeed, South Sudan is desperate. The economical tie with Uganda, the economical tie with Kenya, and these are the main, especially Uganda, which is hosting millions of refugees, of South Sudan refugees, and many of them actually played also to Uganda within the recent fight. And it's an economical leverage that the neighbor is benefiting. As long as your house is burning down and I'm benefiting from your house, I don't care. But our leaders don't have a common sense of understanding that, look, I'm in control of these territories. Yes, Kir lost his legitimacy and he's listening to Bolmel, which is his handpicked replacement, regardless of what. But now the reasons, the leaders of the regions, even the AU and the IGAD and all so forth, that they come to South Sudan, now their take is going to be, look, it's been Museveni is the problem. Honestly, they're going to conclude that way. And Salva Kiir is trying to sift all his dirty laundry to Museveni.
Not to cut you short, Brother Juma. I saw a press release by Abiy Ahmed also. It says that you got a neighboring country are the one fueling what is happening in South Sudan. If Abiy Ahmed can say that, yes, definitely he's right. But again, that level, who is the one fueling this? Because he did not mention, but clearly everybody can see it, everybody knows. Because Museveni, as one of the grantors of this peace agreement, 2018 peace agreement that signed in Sudan between Riek and Kir, he shouldn't be taking side. He shouldn't. He should be coming to South Sudan as a peacemaker between the two. But for him to take side, is standing with Kir and eliminating Riek from everything and try to arrest him and manipulate things around, that will definitely tell us from the get-go, South Sudan have trouble under Museveni's hand. And we can even go backwards, like long time back, حاجات الكل قاعد يحصل للليدرز بتاع جنوب السودان Museveni عنده فوق يدين. Yeah, you continue.
Part of it that looking at the entire playbook of the region and Museveni and Kir himself, you're looking at why is that the question that the Southerners need to ask themselves: why is that Museveni is more deeply involved in South Sudan issues? Why? A, Museveni has found a weakness in South Sudan, and the weakness is, look, you are surviving because of me. Your economy, everything is flowing before me. You mess with me, I mess you up completely. So if you are being put in the corner, like you are living with the abusive wife or abusive husband that bringing food to the house and you don't have a job, what are you gonna do? You're gonna suck it up, and probably you're gonna relinquish more of your sovereignty to that individuals because you're helpless. But here yet we are claiming to have a country. This is the nation that if were to have a good diplomatic mission or policy per se in the reason such as Uganda and Kenya, if we can help South Sudan to grow. Because remember, in the aftermath of before independence, Southern Sudan economy was growing rapidly. Southern Sudan even currency was more stronger than Kenya and Uganda. The economy was doing well. But, there's a say that your neighbor some neighbors will never wish you well in your progress. They want to pull you down so that they can excel. And it's exactly because the South Sudanese were busy with the tribalism, fighting, inside fighting, and stuff like that. So the neighboring country get the opportunity to crop in. Just look at the entire economy. Who control the economy of South Sudan today? Majority. This South Sudan has a bank in Uganda. This South Sudan has an investment bank in Kenya, in Ethiopia. This South Sudan has traders that are actually good entrepreneur in these countries? Absolutely not. But they allow South Sudan to be a hunting ground. Everything is loose. Everything is loose in South Sudan. There's no regulations. You can come and establish a business. You come and do, as long as you know one general here and there, come and build your bank, and then you come and bank here, but then you siphon all the interest to your country. And Southern Sudan remain completely poor. This policy of South Sudan that is going on now, the economical surrenders policy that they surrender to the neighboring country has made us vulnerable in South Sudan. As a result, most of the Southern Sudanese instead invest in South Sudan, they start investing in the neighboring countries because they lost the faith on their own leaders. So now, the reality is that if indeed they never harm Ramashar, as they claim that Ramashar is under house arrest, Ramashar is safe, how come they don't allow Ramashar to talk to these individuals, even on the phone? Why is that if they never kill these individuals, then they need to come out clear and say, you know what, hey, here is the phone for Ramashar, talk to him on the phone. But you're not going to see him face to face, right? To reassure the Southern Sudanese that indeed, yes, Ramashar as a leader, regardless of disagreement with the policy, that we don't align with him, but yet we can also reassure that, okay, he is safe, he is sound, and nobody harm him. But deny access, either by phone, neither face to face, that tells me that either you have killed that person or that's the only message that people can get. Either you kill him or you just completely gonna kill him. So the question here that I'm asking even the African panels that come to South Sudan, why is that they cannot insist that they cannot live without seeing Rangmashar? If they cannot see Rangmashar, it means they can take action against South Sudan in AU or IGAD or any other regional country. How come they are not tough? Because they just go there, oh, you cannot see this person. Oh, well, I cannot see this person, I come here for a reason. if this policy whereby the AU has a policy or IGAD has a policy of African problem must be solved with African solution, then they need to come out with a robust solution that indeed can be respected. If it is militarily, so be it. If it is sanctioning all those officials not to even travel to Uganda, to Kenya and Ethiopia and stuff like that, if Uganda is aligned with them, let them travel to Uganda. Indeed, if these countries were to be really what they mean good to South Sudan, they might have spoken to Rang Machar today. But these are called envoys. They have no teeth. It's just like you have a bulldog that can bark but cannot bite. The thief can come and rob you, but the dog can shout, but cannot do anything to that dog, to that thief at all. So therefore, for the Southern Sudanese to believe that the regional community, like the IGAD and all stuff like the African, will bring some solution to South Sudan, that's a lie. I can bet. Even though in the future, if there's any mediation of any opposition group that wanna negotiate with the government, and if they have the same criminals in the same neighborhood, that either they have taken their position, they become president either by what? By force. Look at the one of Djibouti. How long he been there? Just ask yourself a question. And this the man is representing, if it is AU or African Union or whatever. It's not even legitimate to be running over and over and over again. He been there as since the creation of Djibouti as the second person to take power. How many years? And now, do you think that person will make a right decision that okay, he will go and be tough to another crooked person like him? African is messed up, my fellow brothers. The African only will be fixed if the new leadership also, if it is in South Sudan, especially South Sudan, we need a new fresh blood that will really take over the people that are nationalists, not tribalists, no regionalists, people that focus on how we can build this country together. Because these folks, Abiy Ahmed, even there's no communicator being come out. If you guys can monitor very closely, because I was looking at the news to come out that this is the communique they made, this is the resolution that they come out with. There's no communique. Now, are we seeing that this visit is fruitful? Maybe you guys might have access to some resources somewhere that tells the South Sudanese that, okay, with the problem that occur on these days, the issue of Nasser, the gas line of individuals in Nasser with the chemical weapons, the involvement of this troop that is invited by South Sudan, I don't blame Uganda in 90% of the time. Because South Sudanese leaders are so stupid. Because they actually pay money for these people to come. Just like when when any person that want to come to United States and say, you know what, I need to sign a contract with Blackwater, with the mercenaries organization. They can take the Blackwater to any other nation to fight for them. Right? These are mercenaries. They get paid for it. They don't care whether they kill your people or whether they do what. They do there's a business. Money involved. They take risk. Are you going to blame them? The issue of South Sudan is economic, that make other people to make decision or involve militarily. There's nothing that beyond that we can discuss. It's not going to be protecting civilians. It's not protecting anything, but they get paid, they get their money, they walk away. If you invite me to kill like other people in America here, that they can hire individual, a hitman that will come and kill either the husband or the wife, because they already put the insurance money on the top of that person's head. So Salva Kiir has hired hitmen. Hitmen have done their job and they will leave. And you end up crying. This leader called Kiir, we hope that in the nearest future things can change. But up to now, if I were to be in Kenya government, Southern Sudan will be forced either to apologize or they should cut a little bit of tie to South Sudan and then see how things can work. Even for 1 week, you can see the leaders in South Sudan will be such shivering. Because be honest with you, 90% of those folks, their families are all in Kenya. 90% of those people, Michael Markwe has the biggest home in Kakuma refugees camp. Imagine Kakuma refugee camp. Michael Markwe has the biggest home there, with all children, wife, and stuff like that. Okay, he built a state of art in the refugee camp. Think
In
about
anticipation of becoming a refugee himself,
it.
isn't it?
Exactly. Okay.
He knows.
So, how do you expect people like that will really serve the country very well? It's a job. But anyway, thank you for giving me the opportunity, Lion and Queen. I'll listen to you guys. If you have any presentation, I will interject. But the reality is that we are in hot soup. The situation in South Sudan need a lot of attention, and the only remedy I can say succinctly that more likely IO is not going to be able to bring South Sudan to the completely peace agreement. It's not going to happen as long as Ramashar is living, and as long as Kir is living, and the IO issue are still going on. And when you see the IO today, some of them are jumping like frogs in the water. The new fabricated propaganda that they just say there are over 200 IOs that surrender to the government. I want to let to the viewers that according to my sources, that is completely a lie. There's one commander that ran away from Morobo area, which is in Panyume. He left his force with 2 people. Okay, and he's from IO. So he reached Juba. He managed to convince Jamal Fihilla. Okay, يدرس الجماعة في هلا تم النقل تانين اللي قاعدين في يونمس قال تعالي تكون جيش بتاعتي. And then I'm gonna go there and announce that I have 200. I come out with 200 people. The rest are the way you guys are here with me. And why that person did that? Because he wanted position. He wanted promotion. Okay. That person might have been promised something, but those are not the IO that were. People may think that those are the IO that in Juba per se. But there's a propaganda going on. Really, the government is working hard. But I can say the only peace agreement that will become either with the term as hold out group. We can hold out here until when we hold them up. That's all I can say. But the hold out group is gonna be bring the total peace. But as long as these 2 SPLM, Tan Dekan Livingston Doro, Tan Levis Bontalon, they are not gonna bring no peace to us completely. And I already said that a long time ago. These 2 elements, these 2 parties cannot bring any peace to South Sudan. And they need to scrap these so-called RSs, and IO need to continue to go and fight, and then have at least some maybe agreement with the people that last time they said they spoilers. And then this is spoiler will sort of give them a hand, and then after that we can overthrow the government, and then we can have a permanent peace. But this thing is not going anywhere. It's just like a cancer that is going on in South Sudan, Lion. When you see what happened in 2013, it's happened in 2016. Now it's happened in 2025. So that is the cancer that was cured and is coming back, and cured and is coming back, is cured and coming back, and continue until it kills everybody. So anyway, I won't take too long. Just go ahead, do your presentation, and then I will come in later.
Thank you, compatriot Mohammed, for this great submission. Yes, I read a press release from Alfred Futiu. He condemned that act of there is forces from IO have defected from IO to IG, which is, according to his statement, those individuals have nothing to do with IO. They are not affiliated by IO movement. So possibly what had happened, like when Salah, remember Salah, the one created some group from Juba and made
Yes,
them
yes, I do remember the gentleman. Yes,
for a couple of days, and then he told their government that there is some people defected from NAS. They wanted to come and join IG. That was the business, and this business played by those of NAS, Salah Kumiri, David Kumiri. I mean, that was that of the national security guy. He's the one playing this game with the Equatorians, to be precise. So those game now is well known, and nobody will buy into it. So if you have something to add, you can go ahead.
I just bits and pieces that I want to add is to, and in regards to the IO and the IG, the two sides of the same coin. Look, they are what they are. As far as we are concerned, we have our fight that we are going for. We have the principles, the visions, and the basics of why we are fighting the regime. The only sympathy we have with this IO right now is the fact that leaders Batam has been, apprehended. Yeminu Shamal, Belubat, Beshunu. That's the only thing that we really think of. And at this moment, we stand with them since there is no reality in what led to them being apprehended in that manner, including Dr. Riek himself. That's one. The other thing, with the manner in which the regime has decided, and that is the dismantling of the 2018 agreement by attacking the cantonment areas where the IO soldiers are there. Are they in Nasser? What did they do in Nasser? The only reason, because the regime is so deep into tribalism, that's why they immediately, because the white armies are formed of Nuer tribe, and then immediately in their mind, IO is a Nuer movement, so that's why they have to go after the troops of IO in any cantonment area. That's the only reason. Actually, the government or the regime did not want this cantonment to begin with. Like I said, just like anything else was unofficial, the arrest of Dr. Riek for years now, since he went back to Juba, has been unofficial. They just made it official last week or so. Now they are making it official, dismantling of the cantonment areas. They're making it official now. Now, if you ask them, why are you after this cantonment area? Why are you going after them? Look at those lies that they came up with. Oh, these people now have movement as they are getting ready to fight. In the cantonment area, they don't have guns. How can you say they are now having a military formation in these cantonment areas? How? Is that the military formation ready for war? That these are the reason why they start going after these places. But the reality is, it is an official way of, because they've realized years are passing by and there is no change happening. React Rasu, everything is much same. They cannot get away as a regime. They cannot in IG. They cannot get away with what they want to do. They cannot dismantle the agreement officially, but they tried everything. Now they are going after these people. If we really want to be a realistic command, but if you arrest React, who is an official party to that agreement is gone, null and void. That agreement should be gone, null and void. You don't need to focus. They hate Alkan Madamak agreement. You put him under arrest. In investigation is going on. Who is operating the agreement with you? Who is implementing it with you? If you look into that agreement, there is a complete article, but only in South Sudan when you see things like that. An agreement based in one of the article dedicated to one zone. Now, this person, we've had the audacity of a secretary to Gal officially. He's under investigation. Then, officially, you're telling everyone the agreement is in Kamakot mode. No movement.
And this useless Michael Mokoy and President Kiir keep saying that the agreement is still implementable and they're not going to stop this agreement. And Salva Kiir said he promised the international community and the AU, African Union, the head of the African Union, this agreement will be implemented, but without react. So imagine if this person who are the one behind the agreement,
you cannot do that. You cannot do that. It's just like you're married to someone and you have the marriage certificate, and now you decide to say this bad mamalo divorce class wasal. It's a good no. Divorce the kalam farik second. I'm still going. This marriage is still continuing on my own based on the marriage certificate. How do you do that?
I think they're playing with people's mind.
I think what they mean to say, Lion, is that they gonna replace React because there is a discussion that's going on between the weak SPLA, some of the leaders that are in Juba. The suggestion was that PAL should be able to be put in as the commander-in-chief of the IO to take over from Machar. And then when the Bambal Inglab it become like Inglab between the IO. So therefore they will say, no, Machar, you're no longer, we denounce you, you're no longer our leader. Inglab, in the Shil Inglab Minita Kalas, we have a new commander-in-chief of the IO. And now that they're betting on that it will be implemented with that Machar. And really, the initial part is that they didn't want Machar in the picture at all. They were betting on. Remember Saddam Taban Dengai, when he actually took that position, he claimed to be the commander of IO. When he defected from Rang Machar after Rang Machar was put in jail. And remember, even he said Rang Machar is not a fit commander, Rang Machar should be killed. Literally, he wanted to take that position from the IO itself, rather than if it were to be in the real sense, where Rang Machar was detained in South Africa, the only person that is supposed to take Rang Machar or is supposed to be Lodogore as the vice to them to Rang Machar. But that is not the thinking of Taban Guy. So within the SPLIO leadership, I think there are people that also rumbling, they're eyeing that position of chairmanship within the IO. And the government is also working hard to pay them off in order for them to come out with the concocted this story. You say, Rang Machar, you have failed us all these years. We're going to need a new leader that will usher us through this agreement. And then what Rang Machar, when they denounced Rang Machar, then what they can do is that they're gonna say, okay, now we start implementing the peace, but that peace is not gonna be implemented, and all of a sudden, they will be manipulated. And either if you say, look, remember what we did to Ramashar, we can also do to you too. You better agree that this thing is gonna be A, B, C, D on our term, not gonna be on your term, because Ramashar was stubborn, wanna focus on implementation, but now they want to find a dwindling that will do that. That is why they say the peace agreement will be implemented with that Ramashar on the scene, because they want to eliminate him in terms of creating this chaos within the IO itself. But believe me, my brothers, there are some crooks people within the IO that doesn't have a principles. And mark my word, somebody is gonna come up tomorrow if this regime decided to detain Ramashar for good. Somebody are gonna say, you know what? Instead of Oyed, which is supposed to be the vice, and Oyed is not even in the country, is gonna be one of those generals within the IO that are in Juba. That they're gonna change the direction. That is my own analysis. That's looking in that perspective.
That's very good. That your analysis can fall in place because it's South Sudan after all we're talking about here. We're not talking about some developed, politically developed country. So South Sudan is South Sudan. Even if Lisa Khan, they made themselves, they are leaders by the powers of God. So what do you expect? It is God. God is invested in them to make them leaders of South Sudan. Isn't that what Martin Elia Galo led?
Yeah, that's what uncle, my uncle Martin Elias said. They've been endeared by God. So
Shankira, what you said, if it happens, it'll happen. But yes, you're right, compatriot Krikuju. Angelina can be installed, right? And if that has to happen, it will be happening and in line with what you've just mentioned, compatriot Juma. Because didn't we hear before, a few years ago, just as soon after when the 2018 agreement was signed, and the first skirmishes that happened, conflict then Hakuma, blah 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 blah. What did we hear? Didn't we hear Angelina is now? It looks like Angelina wants to step in. Yep. So there is nothing new there.
There is news. That news also actually came out. But what I wanted to say here is, if Angelina will replace her husband's position, our Haji position there is not inherited position by marriage or something like that. Go ahead. Secondly, they can do it. South Sudan is none of those developed democracy countries. It can happen, yes, maybe. But the position now have been replaced, right? React automatically when has a bigger under house arrest, because Bolmel wanted that position of the first vice president. Al-Mahal al-Zato, React Fogo. Because React now is like obstacle between the two, between Kir and Bolmel. And Bolmel wanted that title, as Anna Kana Malta Fogo live video last 2 weeks, the title that with Commander-in-Chief. He insisted that React should drop this title. Regardless, the only title that for Commander-in-Chief they know is only Salva Kiir Mayardit. And they don't want to hear that title. Al-Bugulule Commander-in-Chief le React Machar. That's
just before you continue, the first the celebration bata takhrij bata the first unified forces. What did Martin illegal le React? Gallo as a dictator, as a command bigger class long bigger white, ita bigida Arian.
The bigida Arian, yeah.
Yeah. So you're a gone case. So this is South Sudan. Things said, things done, and but if you come to the reality, if we have to sit down one day and go through that agreement again, one by one, article by article to the end, we will find that it's not easy for them to, if one of them, because I'm quite sure that that agreement would have a clause as to what really happened if something has to go wrong with React, or if something has to go wrong with Kir himself. It is there. Those clauses are there. Zema can say if Kir something happened to Kir, React cannot become automatically the president. But Mama Aruf the two parties have to sit down, blah, for 30 days, blah, blah, appoint someone, blah, blah, whatever the clauses is, the clauses that is put out there. The same, there would be a clause also, what will happen if something happened to Kir, to React? And that be whether he's death, whether whatever, all of this, including arrest. Correct? Because arrest becomes an impairment. Correct? It becomes a legal impairment for him. So what should happen? What is the agreement saying? Whether they are going to go by what is the agreement saying, the clauses the agreement is putting there or not, like I said, they don't really care. Because if they do care, in the first place, they wouldn't arrest him officially. Unofficially, then officially. They wouldn't have done that if they were going by the agreement with AMNA. But that was the first part I wanted to say in regards to IO and IG. The second part in regards to the defection of Gabi Hassel Fibenu, like our Commander-in-Chief and Chairman, General Thomas said, wherever they are going, if they are passing through the areas where we have control over, they are free to pass on, to continue. If they are going, villages, let them go. However, if they decide to settle with us and join us, they are welcome. That's important. It is important because we are Junubin. The fight that we are carrying on is for all of us. That fight is not for a specific group of people or for a specific region or for a specific village or a specific ethnic group or anything. It's not. It's for the entire Junubin. So it is important. That's why when you see a nasal de fursa, magalek garmut mabashar, you can have bahar jari moyne dif garmut fogo mave. Kulu fogo nas kulu bukun fogo samaga shunu dag da abel aler wala samaga shunu dag al kashma banat wa jadel tabadal ga mashi. Lakin awal ma moye yekta. Ubari kire it becomes, it pulls. Garmut in this muddy water, garmut bashar. Because it survived well. It played its game well in that muddy water. That's where this type of fake defection comes around. Zoli yatla yagule kan mai miten, lakin ana jasa matalatasha ronus. I don't know how they count people, how they finish nus fogo. You know? Zoli yamuru gule kan indi miten, yatla lego be wide nus bes. Walai ukamani gul, ali nagdak, alwage fi nagdak. And he just mentioned he has 200. And guess what? The regime also is playing that propaganda on its side. It amplifies it. It knows there is no one there. There is this one, halfudde ta'ala diu $100, kalim shi ubukram shi rasullo and non-gunmen bilel shil $100 baramino. Shan muko yeji. You know? Best we bring in for television, ukhlas al-mawdu. That's all that is there. Correct? So by doing that, the government or the regime is playing its game. It just keeps playing it up. And who is the confused here? Is the people. And that's where we step in. That's where we step in. Try to clarify to the people and let the people know the games that are being played around them. They are the victims, they are the fools, they are everything. Everything is being played against them. Now, this is that. In regards to the survivability of the country, Tana, as a South Sudan and all that is going on. Yes, the entire region has interest, Fogna. Well, because we have the weakest of all African leaders in the entire political history of Africa. This is the weakest one. You can never imagine what the hell is going on in South Sudan. Take all these PhDs, you name it, professorat, what are they doing? What is going on? We are so blessed and we are so condemned and damned at the same time, equally. So there is nothing good about us, and there's nothing bad about us. But so we are in catch the truth.
Question for you: do you think that some of those PhDs are legally acquired?
I don't believe so.
Because if those people were to be legally acquiring these PhDs in the area of their expertise, when they do the research, their dissertation, literally they're supposed to be focused on the area that really can enhance the human need. whether you are in, if you are in PhD in public policy, or if you have a PhD in agriculture, or PhD in whatever research that you're doing is supposed to enhance your, your country in the way that you go out there and really research and help the government to implement policy. But majority of our leaders that are considered, imagine since 2005, when South Sudan, during the referendum period, South Sudan was having few numbers of PhD graduate. Okay, and when you look at most of these PhDs that have been ramping on, some of them are actually, they are working, they are SPLM commanders that are working in the system, and then all of a sudden you find that this one graduated with the PhD, this one graduated with this one graduated, but they where is the school that they went to?
Kali University of Jamajuba.
University of
University of Jamajuba wala kharaj lek nas PhD holders.
And the University of Jamajuba has the ability and capability of training people how to carry out research.
Yeah.
You know,
University of Jamajuba. Man, this is what you do. This is what you have. This is South Sudan. That's the thing. Move on. Let's move on. Then we have next thing to play.
Okay, let me bring the next video. I will play this video. Then it's short, between 2 minutes or less. Then I will play the longest one. Then we talk about them together.
Defense Forces, those who were asking in the comment section, has come into the spotlight for using chemical weapons in airstrikes against the population in Nasir, Upper Nile State, South Sudan. World Without War, an international non-governmental organization, has released a statement condemning joint airstrikes by the South Sudan People's Defense Forces and their Ugandan counterparts in Nasir. According to the statement, images and witness accounts suggest that ethyl acetate, a flammable industrial chemical, was deployed in the densely populated region. Mr. Edward H. Carpenter, the director of World Without War and a former UN peacekeeper in South Sudan, reiterated his concerns about the use of chemical warfare. I am deeply concerned by the use of chemical incendiary weapons by the governments of South Sudan and Uganda, Carpenter stated, adding that the actions of the South Sudanese government and their Ugandan allies not only push the country toward full-scale civil war, but also constitute a war crime. The chief of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, recently stated that the Uganda Special Forces, an elite unit of the UPDF, had entered South Sudan to protect the capital, Juba. Days later, regular infantry and mechanized units of the UPDF also entered South Sudan to support the special forces in what was termed the protection of the capital, Juba. Later, however, the chief of the Ugandan forces boasted on his X, formerly Twitter account, that he had already grown tired of killing ethnic Nuer people in Upper Nile State. He urged the Nuer people to bring their leader before President Salva Kiir, his ally, to kneel and ask for forgiveness. This mass killing of the ethnic Nuer was, however, authorized by the Ugandan parliament, which granted the army chief clearance to deploy troops to South Sudan. This decision places Uganda on a path toward potential international war crime charges and possible compensation claims from the Nuer community. On March 17th, Reuters confirmed an airstrike on Nasir. At least 21 people were killed, including the paramount chief. The airport, market, and county commissioners' residence were targeted. World Without War has criticized the UN mission in South Sudan,
UN mission in South Sudan is a part of the killing.
Why hasn't UNMISS deployed peacekeepers as they're mandated to do?
UNMISS is not doing the job that they are supposed to do. Listen,
though authorized for 17,000
they are the part of the
troops,
plan
fewer
to
than
ethnically cleanse
14,000
the
have
new
been
people.
deployed. Carpenter urged the deployment of the necessary unified forces, a neutral South Sudanese force, alongside UNMISS peacekeepers to restore local trust. The United Nations must investigate this attack on civilians and demand accountability, he said. calling on South Sudan to ratify Protocol 3 of the Convention on certain conventional weapons. So what do you think about Uganda?
Okay, I think that's the bit that I wanted to for us to hear and hold on, and talk about it. We have heard this analysis really clear. Taban, and when Uganda deploy forces in South Sudan from day one, they have been denied by Sudan authority. Then Mahuzi, I mentioned this a bit earlier. Mahuzi made a small statement for X space, made Michael Mokoy to come publicly and announce that and admit, yes, there is a forces of UPDF in South Sudan. Now, when you see the whole situation or the whole thing have been organized by Ugandan authority, according to this video or according to this reporter, have been organized by Ugandan authority. Although some of these people in Parliament of Uganda, last time I made the video also, I brought it up. Some official from the Parliament, they said they don't know anything about it, but because the statement wasn't official, there is no official letter from the defense force and from chief of staff and from Museveni himself. There is no official letter. Yani the Zolal bitata Barlaman Zenu Nukumba Desmo Munada. Binadishuna, I forget. Anyways,
The speaker of the
the speaker of the house, he said he only knew that in social media, but there is no official letter from above for them to come and discuss about it in Parliament. Then they can give approval, because their force is supposed to, if they have forces going out of Uganda, they have to discuss that in Parliament, then agree upon, and then they will give blessing for the forces to go. But by that time, there is nothing happened like that. So for only him, take him by surprise to see it in social media, this is whereby they came back and talked about it, and they, at the end of the day, they approved it after the Ugandan force is already on our soil. Now, the reporter says what? That the UN highlighted that like Ugandan will be labeled as a war crime. حاجات اللي هم جعملوا في ناصر, it's a war crime, and possibility also to pay pay price للناس اللي انقتلوا في ناصر ولا في محلات الثانية. So أنا داير نشوف رأيكم شنو في محل, لأنه there's a lot that have been denied. Also, Mahozi said in his one of his TikTok, not TikTok, his space also, X, Hugal forces are not mandated to go and kill. They're supposed to be peacekeepers. But now we can see them in Olang fighting, we can see them in Nasir fighting, we can see them in Moyam fighting, even within areas في Juba. within areas في جوبا زي المشكله اللي كان حصل الاسبوع اللي فات في رجاف, they also part of it, and also في منطقه بتاع سيرمون, البيز بتاع ايوه اللي كان ماشي ضربوه هنا في اتجاه نيانبرا, between نيانبرا and مورو في كودا برضو, محل اللي بيقولوا كودا ده, also they are part of that. until برضو طياره كان جا ضرب محل هناك في نياميني, between Nyamina and Koda. So they are part of that fight also. So Dina Rai Confida, and then we will move ahead with the second video.
Well, here's the bit that I can say. Question. Masala. What is that we have in Uganda? Museveni is the head. ولا do is مسؤول من جيش ولا الثاني ما عارف مسؤول من شنو كده جيش. So why do they need to go back to parliament? They don't need to. They'll just do their own thing. في جامعة كده في الدين هم بالليل ومسافن نادي أولاده تعالوا نتنادى, my son, this is this. What do you think? Can you get your men ready? I want them in Juba. This is where the source of our billions of dollars come. Museo, but then Barlaman del Siasin, don't worry about them. Send them first. We will figure out how to let them know later. So the speaker is innocently Gabduk Nyama Enade Changa Batao Nyama Choma Batao Bilel Majab Kabardunia. If the social media yelga what is going on. It's the same system. It is the Nizam Bata Museveni is Nizam Bata Kir in a better days.
Exactly.
This is the same Nizam. Best White is in better, has seen it is worse days, now it is in his own better days, and the other one is still trailing back. The other is a reflection to the past. South Sudan is a reflection to the past of Museveni. The reason he seems so concerned about it is because he's making money out of it. And South Sudan look at Uganda as America, because that is where, if there is anything, it will get a help in Guam. All right? Be it military, be it whatever, it can get it quickly. Yes, Kenya is there. Yes, Ethiopia is there. Yes, Eritrea is there. And any other countries are there. Rwanda was there until recently. Nowadays, I see Kirbiga Maga Barkaptayara, shameful. Whenever he's traveling, he will be tired of the Rwanda. So these are the things. So it is what we might call it when we look at it from different angle. We might call it also one of the things that you've mentioned about Muhoozi. One of his messages was that he's tired of killing Nuer.
Mm-hmm.
He's tired of killing Nuer. That is one of his messages. It is a matter of the compensation for those who have been killed in cold blood for Nasir or for Mahalat Tanin under the auspice, under by the militia that regime, under the auspice of Uganda, for instance, because they are the one who showed themselves to us by bringing in Jararat Batam Madafe or Hajat, Yakhalom Lena or Raja Madara, tracks del Raja Fadi. Alkan Shailin Madafi Hawzarat Majadel Kulu, Janazolom Lena, Umurajin Tan Uganda. So that tells you those Asli Al Jabodel are not going back to Uganda. This is what actually the Nizam there. So all this compensation talk about this is early, too early to talk about it now. Nothing will finish. If today victims of World War I are still being compensated today. Today, in this 2025, they are being compensated. No, that one will come. South Sudan will never remain like that forever and ever condemned like that. No. A time will come where that South Sudan will be kulum in durar, skyscrapers, shaware, AI, blah, 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 aya haja. People will be reflecting back into the years when South Sudan started was the worst ever. People will come to that point. But what we are seeing now, it's a question of clearly proxy war happening. That's one. We know that for sure. The proxy war that's happening is the regime getting the well-trained army to Uganda to fight on their behalf to kill its own people. And if you want to talk about treason, this is treason 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
That is treason 10 times. You have no justification on that at all. No matter what, South Sudan regime has no justification of bringing a foreign troop to kill its own people on its behalf. No justification. Table on the beginning again, Harama Sudan. Haijibu Shunasa. Mush Haijibu South Africa, Haijibu America, Haijibu Tanzania, Haijibu Hayongulu, Russia, Jamarikula Haijibu. The best we had not seen the Egyptolom foreign troops. So if you're then fighting a different country, a foreign country, Mauduna Bukun Tawil. Ashankira Makwelo Hak, he couldn't bet for Kakumalano, he's getting ready, to become a refugee forever.
Remember Salva Kiir said that. Remember Salva Kiir said that.
Application but Kirinu can't do their passport le jinsia le yal batao. That is there already. So these people have already secured themselves. You know, they've secured themselves in whatever the way that they want. You know, but these are the things. It is a serious thing. It's a proxy war. The question now is, are we going to just rely on all the world, the international community is going to say, yeah, this is a proxy. We are the one to make it clear to the international community and the region, even this, what did they call them? Panel of the wise. Panel of the wise from east and west.
Asma, who come out with that term, panel of the wise? Actually, how wise these people are.
They know themselves alone.
Africans, you better ask them when they sit around bottles of whiskey in their position of power. This is what come out of them. Especially, this is a good one to look. Look, man, I didn't come 3 days or 4 days to 5-star hotel. I just have class.
The panel of wise.
Yeah. Yes, panel of wise.
Panel of wise. The panel of wise came in, and
they come from every angle of Africa.
I put that one on my Facebook a couple of days, I think 2 days back or 3 days back. 2 days back. Museveni came to South Sudan since Tuesday. Okay? And the announcement was made that Museveni will come to South Sudan on Wednesday morning. The guy is already Juba.
Yeah, but he's coming ahead, Gataras, to stop the Makungu. And my friend, these people are coming to say this. You are not. This is what you have to say. Don't ever go along with what they're saying. Like you mentioned, compatriot Juma. Where is the communique at the end of the Ziaratanas panel of wise?
Exactly.
Because this kind of high level teams always end up with a communique released on the very last day. Mm-hmm. Because if they don't, pay attention to this one. If they don't release any communique, then they are going to turn up to be Abu Sanja report. Because they're going to sit down, they're going to write down their report, they're going to say, this is what we did. First day we did this, we were not able to do this. It's going to just be a report. Do you understand? It's just going to be a report that they need to just submit it to Baginas and India. Since they don't have any community.
It's not supposed to be advisable if they really call themselves the panel or wise or the panel with the worst over the dam or whatever you can put the title should be. And let us believe that they are wise, right? That I just particularly they say they are wise.
I haven't even seen where the wisdom is.
Yeah. So the wise man is like Raila Odinga. At least Raila Odinga was be able to tell the world that I have visited under this mandate. Yeah. But this is what I see. And this is what I was told.
He made it immediately.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what the panel of wise is supposed to be doing at the end of their visit.
And they will even say, even Odinga say, I will be composing a report and submit it to the people.
Yeah.
So immediately, he actually have told the world that, look, this is the obstacle that I have, but I'm going to be writing my report. So it tells me that if I'm listening to him, I'm going to be looking on some of the keywords that in that report that actually he might have said during that small press conference, right?
Because it's going to be in details, yes.
Exactly. So I'm going to be looking at some keyword. But this panel of the wise, which is a big payoff, and by the way, I don't believe anything with Ismail Wise is going to come even a wise.
Now you're talking.
Because Ismail Wise turned to be a notorious individual.
He's not wise enough.
He's not wise enough. If he were to be wise enough, he was there when this RSS was signing in Khartoum. He was one of the playbook. He played his role to make sure that, because he's been paid up by the Kir regime. And when he speaks the language on the one side. He was not looking fairly, objectively as individuals that indeed have been given that authority to do so. So therefore, that is why Ismail Wise didn't even, with his team, never even come out with a press statement that they have told to the Southern Sudanese, say, look, I have come to your city and this is what I observed, but I'm going to be putting the report so that you guys will know exactly my visit, why I'm here, and what is the situation, how we can move forward from here. It's not going to happen to him at this moment because they're going to be looking with this panel otherwise, and the dollars, some dollars that are remaining from the 30 something billions that they brought from Emirate, they're going to be dividing to these folks, okay? And they will go and concoct stories that even I found it. You know, because the reality is that for me, I lost faith in these individuals that call themselves either whether the IGAD or the African Union. And when they claim, quote unquote, the African problem must have an African solution. But if you already been compromised, how do you can I come up with a solution?
Azma, best in farmer like that. Do you know why they said African problems must have African solutions? Because they can survive within that. Yeah, نجي لك يا كير ولا جل تقاتام اللي ولا عشان بنطلع برا نقول كده كير بقول كونكوج كده كده bring out briefcase فوقه 200,000 $200,000 كم بيسلموا لك وتبمشي African solutions. كلام ده بعد كده بعد ما والله we met with the president and we agreed that we will be talking about this, we will be doing this, we will be doing that. خلاص African solution. Nothing can get out. That is why. And it is not just South Sudan. It is every country in Africa. That is
You're
why.
right.
This is not the first time they're talking about the African problems must have the African solution. It's not the first time. There are better countries in Africa that could have African solutions in their issues. Have you seen them doing it? None. No. Because the African solutions includes corruption, includes payoff hina yeminu shamal, include where people will make money, that is the African solutions. Sorry to cut you short, but that is what it is all about. It is not what we think it is.
You know, when you read the Obasanjo report, honestly speaking, and if the Obasanjo report were to wake the African leaders up and give them a list of exactly what is going in South Sudan, that report alone will give them a formula how to come out to resolve the problem of South Sudan. But they completely doesn't want that report of Obasanjo. Because Obasanjo was not being bought by these crooks of South Sudan. He was detailing exactly, and he put the perspective of whom to be blamed. So, if somebody that in the report had been mentioned that you, Juma, you have committed this, and this is your side of your story that you have participated in this, and then you are participating in this. Now, if the African solution is supposed to come in, is supposed to bring in this folks saying, "Look, guys, you have failed this nation, two of you. The only thing that we're gonna tell you as African solution is, we will tell you to leave the scene. Let us have something better for these people called South Sudanese, rather than keeping you on the power because you are here on the power." Because the report is stated clear that these two individuals must be blamed. Rang Machar has a share, Kir has a share, and there was no coup that have been that they claim that implicated Kir. Rang Machar actually has created a coup. There was no any evidence. So now, and up to today, since 2001, up to today, we are still talking about the same problem of South Sudan. And this so-called the wise, the committee of the wise, or whatever the group of the wise people that they come from the West, referring back to the scripture, it's a laughing stock, my brother. It just they're just making fool of Southern Sudanese. But we, the sons and the daughters of South Sudan, that have been being stopped from not going to our country to participate in any political activities or even to help our people in different ways, not necessarily have to be working in the government. They look at us outside as a threat, because even this African Union, they have a playbook, because South Sudan is bringing salary. Smell wise will be able to come and say, I need to let me call another opposition up that never been discussed. We need to meet, and then he will be given the ticket to fly all over the world, and then he will sleep in the hotel and enjoy himself, and then go back, nothing, no communicate, no nothing. Right? It has been something. I don't know whether this African Union leaders are going to wake up and say, no, this is male wise. You are not wise enough to be in this position. You better vacate. We need to put somebody that is more aggressive, that really want to solve African problem. If you're going to be envoy. But these envoys are compromised. So therefore, let me go back to the video, Queen. I think I share some stuff with one of our gentlemen. I say, whatever going on in Nasser, the killing of the civilians, people need to collect all the evidence base. When they collect those evidence, let them start those evidence. Whenever the community that is involved want to reach out to raise money for the attorney, so that they can be able to come and refer this case to international court. And then the two individuals that order that air bombardment must be identified, and they must be taken to the Hague. Simple example is Sarah Stella of Liberia. What happened to Sarah Stella of Liberia? He was not indicted because he killed people in Liberia, but he was indicted because he involved in Sierra Leone issue. And that is one of the major issues that he was indicted with. So therefore, any involvement of any foreign country in the territory that is not his own, with the agreement with the host country, then they can share the blame. And they all be held accountable. I wish if they were to take this case to international court before Kir died, because the way you see Kir walk in that video in the airport there, like tomorrow he's not gonna make it. Okay.
No more traveling, eh?
Exactly. Honestly, I mean that gentleman, even I think he's younger than Museveni. I bet.
Yep, he is.
But look at Museveni, how Museveni can walk. And Museveni can walk faster than him 199.9 times. And that is so-called the president that want to rule the nation. But the Southern Sudanese should be able to assemble not only the incident in Nasser alone, but some gross crime that we committed in Kejikeji, in Central Equatoria, in Bargazal, in every other areas that involving Kir and some of those individuals that gonna be still in the government, they should be prosecuted. Whether the new commander-in-chief took over, the Southern Sudanese need to learn one thing: justice, cannot be served without people have been paying the price. Because if you wanna have justice to those people that have been killed unnecessarily, we need to hold people accountable for that. Because look at during the SPLM time, SPLM had committed a lot of crime, but the South Sudanese turned the blind eyes. When the country come, that we are independent now, everybody is focusing on something. They forgot about, my family was killed, this number was killed and stuff like that. The people that were actually torturing, killing our people, even the same kid. Okay. Do any South Sudanese talk about Kir has committed a crime? Because we are blind enough. For the 20-something plus years, there's no documentation that have been collected in order to hold these people accountable. Now, therefore, they actually, has dodged the bullet, but the bullet has come back. Because whatever you committed a crime, you think that you can escape that crime, but you're gonna do it again, and then you're gonna get caught at the last. So Kir has committed a gross crime against the nation of South Sudan and all his commanders, the recruitment Matianyor, the killing of Nuer door to door, the burning of the villages around Juba, killing of many people in all corners of South Sudan. Neither been Rangmashar, neither been Kir. No one is above the law. If they are talking about the dead of Majur, who is Majur in the first place? Are they going to house Rangmashar because of the dead of Majur? How about the killing of 7 boys in KGKG that Kir's troops putting their legs on? How about the killing of 21 people just not too long ago within Jebel Dinga, whatever you named them, and the Wandruba area? How about the killing of people in Nimule? I mean, how about the killing of people in Barakazal? And the list go longer and longer. So, who is indeed a criminal here? Why is this Majur that all of a sudden become the face of the nation overnight, and they blame Rangmashar? That Mashar is the one who engaged in killing people. Kir has given orders for this air raid to take place in Nasser. How comes we don't lock Kir in? That Kir, you have committed a gross crime against citizen of Nasser. If Majur can be important, then the citizen of Nasser should be important too.
Okay, we have another 3 videos to go.
Okay,
if you
go ahead.
Yeah, what I wanted to say in regards of the panel of wise and Raila Odinga, there is 2 different mandates. The panel of Africa have been chosen by those of IGAD, and we know what is IGAD is and how they behave. And Raila Odinga have been chosen by William Ruto and Abiy Ahmed because international community putting pressure on those leaders. So Raila Odinga is the best person have been chosen, but don't forget, from day one, Salva Kiir doesn't like Raila Odinga. When the time of the election, during the election time in Kenya, Salva Kiir paid heavy money in order for Ruto to win. So he doesn't have any business with Raila Odinga, and they see the way that Raila Odinga came to South Sudan is going to expose them. This way, by the only option that they have to block him not to go and visit React. What I heard also, Taban Shamarat sometimes can be true, sometimes can be wrong, can be false statements. But this time I want to take it really serious. According to when the forces came to React's house, they have beaten him. This is whereby I think, according to my own analysis, they don't want these people to visit React at this time because they know if they go there, they will see what happened, they will take photos, and they will be exposed. That's according to my own understanding. So ده حاجة اللي أنا شايفه. لكن mandate بتاعت Raila Odinga is a genuine is a genuine mandate, which is because he have no intention of even going to South Sudan or to go and lie against President Salva Kiir and his system. He doesn't have intention about all this. Nothing intent at all. So what will make him to lie? What is he going to benefit anyways? So that's what واحد حاجة اللي أنا I just noticed it between all this. But let me just bring the second video, and then we'll go from there.
Is talking about deploying in response to what happened in Nasir. What about what happened in Western Equatoria? What about what happened in Juba? What about these things of the agreement being broken down? So it also went again further to the extent of arresting Dr. Riek Machar. And when Dr. Riek Machar was arrested, IGAD, we thank the countries of IGAD, Kenya, Ethiopia, Djibouti, they got concerned, and an envoy was sent there, Honorable Raila Odinga. The report coming out of the press is very bad. That Raila Odinga, on reaching there, he talked to General Salva Kiir Mayardit, the president, His Excellency, the president of South Sudan, about the matter. And he also requested to go and talk to the counterpart of the conflict, Dr. Riek Machar. But according to the report, which is circulating also in the media, a report issued by Honorable Raila Odinga himself, that when he requested to go and see Dr. Riek Machar, he was not allowed. Instead, the president referred him to go to Uganda and see President Museveni. To get permission to see Riek Machar, you have to come to Uganda and ask President Museveni. What does it mean? It means President Museveni is the one who ordered for the arrest of Riek Machar. How do you send an envoy from there who wanted to see Dr. Riek Machar from South Sudan to come to President Museveni in Uganda, in Kampala here, to ask for permission? How? This one gives the impression that the command, the instructions that go arrest Riek Machar were given from Kampala. And this put Uganda in a very bad position. That's why I would like to implore our president, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, regardless of the goodwill, the good things you have ever done, in this particular case, you have already been misunderstood. You have been understood badly as the one who has caused the problem, the one who has ordered the arrest. Therefore, you move out. Let other people, let other leaders of Africa take the lead. Come back home with our troops. Let other leaders of Africa go there, and they manage the problem. And if they fail, then they can ask you as a consultant of the region that you say, we tried, we have failed, now you come back. Let them be the one to come back and request you, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, our president of Uganda, that you deploy the troops so you come. But for this case, there is already a bad picture about Uganda. So our position as FDC is stick to the agreement.
Okay, anyone can jump in.
Yeah, I think I watched the video over and over and over again. I think the gentleman really spoke very well. And the image of Uganda indeed is to look bad at this point in the eyes of the Southern Sudanese per se, in the eyes of the regional leaders. That if that is the envoy of the high level or presidential envoy being denied and to see the person that is claimed to be involved in the conflict, if you to find the mission and then they are denying, and now you're referring somebody to somebody else, that tells, I think, the same thing that we spoke earlier. And it really it gives Uganda into the bad perception on the country leaders. And by the way, let me also cite something very important that can relate to this from Paul Kagame. I think there's an audio that been shared from Paul Kagame, which said he have a message for those leaders who want to use mercenaries as a way of solving their problem. He said, those leaders that use mercenaries to solve their problem, how about this mercenaries gone? What are you going to do? You're supposed to solve your problem in your own country, not using outsiders. But Kir is very smart. And the leaders of South Sudan they don't want to be blamed. They found somebody that they can blame on, they pay him. because as been this was said, the 39 million that was paid to the government of Uganda, according to the reports that people are hearing. Now they say, okay, since we pay you, you better answer the questions. In the other word, I don't know whether that's a part of a contract, Mr. Lyon, that if you contract somebody and somebody will come and ask you a question and say, you know what, I already paid this person to do this job, you go and ask him. And that is the reflection that, I can take at that angle. So it's mean they wash their hands, they are paid somebody to do a dirty job, then therefore, look, it's not our problem. Go and talk to Mr. So and so. And that is the message that really, if money exchange on hand and the agreement that is closed though, and that between the two leaders, nobody knows what is it, tells us that somebody is controlling something else. Because Museveni, even if you look at the J1 where Museveni sit, I never see in America whereby if you knew the president that come to visit, you can see the picture of the president in that office on the top. I never see that in the first world country, never. It tells me that like, okay, this is a subsidiary office, my man. Here is your picture up here, and with your plaque. So it means the country has been ruled by two presidents. That is the message that is getting there. And that message that actually been said, that tells us this gentleman that just speak. Uganda image has been tarnished. And even be honest, you, I can give credit to the Ugandan parliament, because the first initial was the Minister of Defense was even questioned. And the Minister of Defense say, I don't know anything about it. I don't know that our soldiers in South Sudan. And that audio is there. He said that I don't know that there are people in South Sudan, because one of the lawmakers raised the issue that thank God the Minister of Defense is here. Let him tell us who authorized those soldiers to be sent to South Sudan. Is it you? And he denied. He say, I don't know. He's just a media, but he doesn't have no any idea. But of course he knows it, but he's scared that he may lose his job if he say anything. So we have a problem, and our problem is whether Uganda image has been tarnished in the region. That is solely, if I were to be Uganda government, I can hold Kir responsible of tarnishing his own image. And Museveni should really cut tie with Kir, because he has ruined Museveni image, regardless of the goodwill, if it is in the goodwill or badwill that they are working together as two leaders in the same country. Even though money is a changing hand, but you cannot lie. If I already pay you, and if you're gonna be taking the blame, then take the blames. In other words, but if you want to be, if you don't want to take the blame, then you kids should be able to answer. You say, look, you can see Rangmashar. He is at home. You can go and see him, go visit him, have a conversation with him, so they can see the two sides of the story. And if it is not a guilty conscience that really going through these two individuals, okay, Kid is trying to hide something that they want to
try. It's actually hiding.
Yeah, trying to hide something that is, he doesn't want Rangmashar to speak, to tell the truth. He doesn't want Rangmashar to burden of his stories. So they want to execute these individuals while in house arrest. He cannot say anything. He cannot do anything. Nobody can defend him. He is defenseless right now. He cannot say, he cannot rebuke any allegation that being made against him to the international community or to the Southern Sudanese at large. Therefore, the only thing that I feel sorry for Mr. Raila Odinga, or being pushed around like a little kid, but those are the politics that they need to go and discuss as a countries. Say, okay, what do we learn from this episode that happened in South Sudan? How can we do better? You know, what will be the solution that we can put together in order for any country not to misbehave if scenario like this arise, so that the envoy cannot be make small like somebody that has no any value. That is just like disrespectful. Honestly, that's a disrespect in the higher order. That is disrespecting Odinga to come to Uganda. Meanwhile, they have the problem there. They are the cause of the problem, but they don't talk about the problem. So that is all I can say at this on this video, Queen.
All right, let me come in as well. Let me take the 3 points you've mentioned there. The first one was in what President Paul Kagame had to say about the mercenaries and countries that are in trouble. What he actually mentioned was, if your country is already in shit, your country is already in shit, you go bring the mercenaries to assist resolving the shit. You've just multiplied that shit multiple times. So that shit is going to be worse than when you started with. So in other words, what is the point of bringing in the mercenaries? Now, like I said earlier, it raises eyebrow for a country to borrow or to lend its well-trained military men and women to a friendly country just to go and battle Nasila. It's shameful. So that is that one. In regards to that video, you would agree with me that that video was made before the formation of the panel of the wise, or the prisoners of war, according to their acronym, POW. So prisoners of war, they are prisoners of their own greed. So that's why I call them prisoners of war. So because they are all, they want to look like they are doing something, but then again, it is actually about all the payments that they will receive. All the talk about the cash in hand, or whatever that you're saying, compatriot Muhammad, no one can say no, it's not true. Because after all, we're talking about Africa. We're not talking about Europe. We're not talking about Australia. We're not talking about the US or Canada or Russia. We're talking about Africa. Elbow greasing is the most you can do to get away with things. And for this regime, I don't think it is difficult for them to get away by greasing the elbow of any person, even if it is Jesus or Muhammad has to come. They will do that. They will do that. If Jesus fell for it, he will take that money and go to hell. If Muhammad fell for it, he will take that money and go to hell at the end of the day. So this panel of the wise, with whatever they've come up to do, they were formed after that video. That video was immediate with Raila Odinga. Okay. So the fact that was mentioned by that MP in that video is are the things that we said earlier on. We made it clear. It clearly, if they can reach, we can reach that conclusion. Any person in the world with a little bit of brain will get to that conclusion. The arrest of Riek, our jam in Kampala. Why am I surprised? Isn't it the same thank you, President Kiir, for killing your people in public? Wasn't that the one? I don't remember. You don't remember that one?
Didn't mean it like that. I thank you, Mr. President, for killing your people. So, that video is out there. It's not something we're making it up.
And that, honestly, it may be a slip of the tongue.
Yeah, he meant he didn't want to say, but lisan
exactly. Exactly.
You cannot make that mistake.
Yeah, I think
President for killing you. Killing you? Oh, sorry, not for killing you, for greeting you.
I have the video somewhere.
Right? So we shouldn't be surprised. We shouldn't be surprised that the bilateral relation between Uganda and South Sudan is just like any other bilateral relation between South Sudan and Kenya or Eritrea or US or Russia, you name it. It's not. That one, M7 wants to ensure no one who is sitting in South Sudan is equal or higher than him. So he has to make sure whoever is sitting in South Sudan lives fully or actually ask him for assistance. And all he has to say, how much will you pay? And if you say 10 million, we'll like, no, put another zero in front of it. So it's 100 million, I'm good. And then you say yes, he will go for it. Because that's the only thing. Uganda stands only, and when I say Uganda, I don't mean the Ugandese. Ugandese are people like us. You know? When the door is open for them,
I congratulate President Salva for killing you, for calling you. not killing you. For calling you, I congratulate.
The guy is just full drunk, I believe. Yala kalam debes jatala, because they know what they're cooking together. You know, and then
exactly. God works in mysterious way. I congratulate you, Mr. President, for killing you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. So Ugandans come to South Sudan for the Holombab. Kenyans are coming in, Somalis are coming in, because Bab Malasaf Shirid Bab it Fatah Balubat Fini High General Gamik that's another way of becoming rich quick. Yeah. They become the one the ethnicity element masculine firasum. Now they got into partnership ma ayizol for business. Can Somali, can Eritrea. But look at it, Ashan Taraf al-Hasad. Those generals don't get in partnership. Have you noticed that? With all these businesses, they don't get in partnership.
Yeah, and I think, let me just give you on that point, that note of partnership, even in Uganda, if you're opening a business in Uganda, you're supposed to partner with the local people. You cannot partner with nobody. Okay? So, therefore, because the government has the issue of looking to make their generals rich, instead of, like in Uganda today, you can find somebody that even don't have money. You want to open a business, you can put his name, and he will get a shares in whatever property that you're making. Just for being his name, just being there as a share, regardless whether he has a Rasomali or Mind Rasomali, based as to know Jolly Uganda. African Kalamde can be the same thing for South Sudan. Thank you.
Exactly. That happens in many countries, even in Egypt. If you want to go and tell that تبني مشروع سياحي في مصر ما عندهم مشكلة معك. The only thing they will tell you واحد مصري يكون شريك بتاعك فوق. That's it. Because they need to ensure that the country is also benefiting. Yes, you're coming to make money, but the country has to benefit out of it as well. But these generals don't partner مع جنوبين. They partner مع Somalin, مع Eritrean, مع Egyptians, مع Mundukurat,
ma Ugandese, ma whoever. Now, let me go back to what I was saying. Ugandese flood into the country because that's where they're coming to make some money, all right, as far as they're concerned. But they don't know why that floodgate was opened. Because M7 Kinak is making 2, 4, 600, 800, or even 1,000% times what the local Ugandese for your Juba Ganyamulu, because he's getting money. He's feeding South Sudan. Somebody said something that 400 cows are being slaughtered every day in Juba. But which cows are they getting a slaughtering? It's cows of Museveni, Ugandese cows. What is about the cows that we have? The 75 million or last bigger 80 million heads of cattle that we have. We're eating cows.
Them ones just to use for destruction.
Yeah. It's being weaponized for destruction. That is one. That's a Gisalezamantani. But 400 every day, that is being slaughtered, or 600, whatever you name it, for Juba, cows for Uganda. It makes to Ugandese, it looks like it's a lucrative place to go and do business for. That's what Museveni wants it to, for his people to see that what he's doing. But actually, Museveni is getting Nasib al-Usud. He's getting billions and billions and billions of dollars. And this weak and wicked regime that is sitting in J1, in order to cement itself on and on and on and on, it has to rely on Uganda. Yes, it tried to hang around with the Hamitibe corner. They know that is there for Gunar Sukun. If you bring it out in public, guam, you will pay for it, guam. Mafogu Meshkel Aslan, you'll pay for that. So they are now making it with Museveni is the one that is being done quickly. It is in public. When you are saying these troops were in South Sudan, means someone with that LRA, yes, that's okay. But where is the LRA now? Why is these troops all over the place in South Sudan? Why is it not Fimahala? If yes, we do know countries do have military relations that they can have exchange of few numbers of specialists, to come and train your own, and you send your own to train in other places. But that's about it. You don't really bring them in fully equipped, ready for war. You don't do that. It's just like South Sudan has to take its own Nyungura Sahad, Batam as Kalashnikov, Batam de Batabatam al Mugadat Gadat, Lasati Batak Kef Muragad, Yangulugal, they have a military relation with America. Yangulim Jodi was of Arizona Kulu. Kulu Mahal. Will that really work? Will that work? What is it? So, to me, in that regards, Kalam al-Zol Legalo, Kalam for Mahalu, if M7 was really listening, he could have taken that step. That was here, but Honorable Batamda. But M7 won't take it, Lanu. It means losing money.
His interest becomes this.
Yeah. His interest is more than the interest of the country itself, of Uganda. So he won't take that step. He will find any other way to talk about, to get himself out of it, basically, but not take that step. Let me say, this one is controversial in regards to those photos. Surah bata garang shalobara wajadil. Let me do it this way. Let me say the right one, and then I will go to say the other one. The right one is this. In a diplomatic protocol standards, it is correct. Having that picture up there is correct because it follows the norm. If you choose to do it, you do it that way. Maybe that's the only thing I should the regime chief your order. Amolosa, apart from that, Tarabeza, bigger can Mudai, Gabadaig, Muse. So, but the photos in diplomatic protocol, that is correct. What you do is, if you have to put the picture up, if that's what you need to put up, you have to ensure that those photos are of the same size, the same frame, the same high quality. انت قاعد تستقبل ديف بتاعك الصوره بتاعك is high quality يلا الصوره اللي تاني يعملوا بقى برينتنج كده على فوق ساكت no it has to be the same photo frame كان فوقه ذهب لازم ده يكون فوقه ذهب and the way انت بتعلقه انت بتعلقه the same level كويس انت بتعالج بتاعك في جنبك انت كهوست يو سي ات اون مع الكير قاعد فوق ده كوريكت سايد بوزيشن بتاعه في الصوره بتاعه في راسه بعلم بتاعه في جنبه في سايد الهوستك بقعد فوقه انت بعلق صوره بتاعه هناك بعلم بتاعه في جنبه الصوره دي يكون the same level كويس because it shows respect mutual respect and sovereignty equality بين ال two countries كويس زي ما انا قلت the one thing about those لما تاخد صوره ده the timing بتاعه في زمن ده ما في المطار صوره ده ما معلق فوق you wait until you hear انه they are about to leave airport جايين في محل بتاع venue ده then صوره ده يعلقوا فوق اول ما اجتماع ده يخلص لما هم نطلع لهم مره راجعين تاني في محل تاني لما هم يركبوا عربيه هم ضيف ماشي الصوره دي يشيلوا برا يرجعوا الصوره بتاع قرن يعلقوا فوق so ده من ناحيه بتاعت diplomatic protocol it is correct we just don't say it and not كل دول بيعملوا you can put it's not a must but if you have to put it up this is what you do the question here in this case is that the regime is so dumb so stupid don't even think even though the placement of the pictures are diplomatically correct but the timing بتاع situation اللي فوقه does not make it right do you get the idea situation اللي فوقه في الظروف اللي فوقه ما زول الذات جاي تعمل حاجه فوقه it's all wrong it doesn't work that's completely will throw protocol but diplomatic protocol will throw it out of the window because nobody will see it all we can see is what Europeans have seen nowadays sura batagarang agalaw bara hey ya ada abu tabala deja kalas dia ada reis al nisia da usulu ya ko tusura tofok وانا ذات كان ما خدنا بالنا كويس تلقى كلامي طلع عادي نهار الصوره لسه في معلق فوق هناك في مع الميتنج ده nobody has entered that one الصوره اللي قاعد فوق هناك you know but that's the case with that photo but for me yes انت لما تعلق صوره فوق what are you trying to tell me انك جيب لنا خلي قران فوق هناك ما عندنا مشكله is it the first time and guess what it's the very first time the regime is doing that
yes
it's replacing
the first time
yes first time regime is replacing the photo كويس why كان ما عجبك شيل صوره بتاع صوره كل برا خلي علم بس no but the fact that you replace that photo خلي صوره زول وزول زار البلد كم مره كذا مره including the one he congratulated him to killing you huh?
yeah it is
so why what is the difference this time what are you trying to tell him pleasing him so much you know والله ما كان بس كلمني يعمل اجد بتاع the former vice president سالفا كير ابو بتاعنا كان يقتلوا هناك موسيفني ابو بتاعنا بابا دينجلي كله كان يعملوا له you know that would have been much better
Babaja is no longer in the picture Babaja died up kalas you know
so these are the things why what are you doing yani by putting that picture up you just hang yourself بالبلدي that is the grave mistake they've done even though like I said it is in terms of diplomatic protocols it's okay but the timing that they put that picture up and this visit and not any other visits attended the situation raises eyebrow especially when people don't understand people think بس وقف علم and I give بجاي or I got بجاي no diplomatically in protocol there is a way why you see president sit كده why you see من واقفين كده why do you see علم ده غيره كده ملو ده كده there are all reason for it you know? so these people are stupid from بين بتاعهم ده لا اخر زول فيهم بالذات بروتوكول بتاع جي 1 ده 3 اصفار على شمال انساك
ما في بروتوكول هناك ذاته اصلا
كل زول ماشي نفسه زي ما هو داير
yeah
so yeah that's what I wanted to add there thank you
yeah okay thank you for both of you what I want to say here my statement is similar. You just catch some of the statement that I have in my mind here. You say that أنا شايف التزامن ما كان مناسب. الزمن كان ما مناسب. يعني حاجة ده عملوه في التوقيت الناس كله زعلانين. الناس كان في دولة مثلا قال الدولة بتاع جنوب السودان دي الديمقراطي كان دي يوم ذاته بروتست بيكون في against مسيفني في الدولة مين في مطار. كان في ناس بطلع مظاهرات في حاجات المسيفني عملوا في جنوب السودان، لكن عشان طبعا ما في rights the citizen to come out and protest against what happened, made everybody to sit and be numb. Although they have pain, South Sudanese are living in pain from inside, but إنت تكورك لمنو ولا تقول لمنو تحكي لمنو ما في لك طريقة. لكن في أي دولة كان في رئيس عمل حاجة وجاي فيزيت بلد ده، سيتيزن بتاع الرئيس ده العايش في الدولة اللي هو جاي فوق ده، ناس بيطلعوا في تظاهرات سلمية، بيرفعوا علم، بيرفعوا يافتات وبيعملوا كوندمينيشن. حتى يوم داك لما كان حصل في واشنطن دي سي زمن كان ناس اسمه شنو ده برنامج بتاع تاونغا لما كان جنرال اسامبلي قاعد يحصل في امريكا، الناس الديليجيشن بتاع حكومه لما كان ماشي، ما كان اننا طلعنا بروتست ده هو بيقول له بلد فوق الديمقراطي رايت. كان المفروض بيحصل نفس حاجه زي دي في جوبا، لكن ما حصل طبعا عشان ما في فريدوم. and again زي ما انت قلت برضه ده اول مره نحن نشوفوا الصوره بتاع جرن قاعدين يعملوا فوق ريبليسمنت. ده زاد الوجع للجنوبين، زاد الوجع وزاد البكا ذات الجنوبين قاعدين يكوركوا. كيف زول اللي بيقتلنا اللي لو يجي في بلدنا لما نغيروا صوره بتاع جرن هيرو بتاعنا ياخدوا تيتو ياخدوا صوره حق زول اللي فوق. although it's a ده حقوق بتاع الدبلوماسيه، لكن هنا as a human being and with the pain that we have we see it in different perspective from different angle, you know. So ده حاجه انا شايفه. So I will go with the last video. Let me this one أنا ما كتبت فوق. I'm not sure.
There was talk about South Sudan, that they wanted to put sanctions on South Sudan in the UN. But you, what sort of bad manners is this? I am the one who knows South Sudan. As I speak now, there are 1 million South Sudanese in Uganda, refugees. So you, who are you to talk about South Sudan? I am the one carrying all the issues. For you, just come as a tourist, and you are the one who says, I say, please, if you want to punish the leaders in South Sudan, I will be the one to whisper to you that these people they cannot change. Let's let's do this. It should come from the region, not from far away.
Okay. Kalam bita Museveni hina clear. He's supposed to. He's the one supposed to whisper to Western to tell them Junub Sudan they never change and do something about it. Then the Western can do whatever they wanted to do, lakin without asking his permission. Look, the permission that Giber Rasolofogo Raila Odinga Henagde, the same now he make himself like responsible for Junub Sudan. Taban we count it as one of his district. So now Ubiga Mosul Mino, if there is anything, Westerners have to ask permission from him. Kalam bita Odinga fi mahalo. They are some of video. Now, I will give you 3 minutes, discuss on this, and I will play one last video, describe or have points to tell us how to notice Rais can who dictator or not dictator from everything that they do. So anyone is ready can jump in, and 3 minutes each, and then we'll go with the last video.
I don't need 3 minutes. Let me just say this quickly. That video just sums up the whole thing. Sums up everything that we've been saying. We've established who Museveni is. we've established what is near Sudan. We have established those in J1 in the regime. They are actually under the authority of M7. We have established that. That is the submission, right? What Museveni have said, he knows Mashakil to Junub Sudan because he has 1 million South Sudanese in Uganda. So he knows every little bit about South Sudan. So if anyone wants to do something or wants to know something about South Sudan, they have to come to him because he is the region. Did you forward to Kalam Nagde? I am the region. Itu Simitu, sir? I am the region.
Yes.
That's what he said in that video.
And
he said, I am the region.
They ask him because it has to come from the region. And I am the one to whisper to you. Right? So he believed fully that the leaders of South Sudan have nothing. Without him saying yes or no or a give fuck, nothing will happen. So it's only him. And that's why when Raila Odinga, even though he's an envoy, right, but a Kenya who went straight le Kir, ugal le Kirandara na Gabel react, Kir masha excused himself, masha toilet daga telephone la abu galo, hey, fi kalam wasal lina. Jegregal, udari Gabel la khona dak. Alijab Balkan min Kampala, it was a simple one. No, and I'm coming. That was it, simple. No, Kalima Egablu, and if you want to make it best, I'm coming. Kirgal, no, Anabag Darbagulo, you're coming, and no, Sakit Minger Sabab. Aker Nugulo Kali Jikinak. You meet and tell him whatever you want to tell him, but tal. And that's how Raila Liga Nafsu Rege Para min Barmanir Jali Nairobi, Riga Tayara Kampala. Awal ma khalas min Kampala, Masha Nairobi, Museveni go on for telephone like Kir Lana Jai. Jai is the blue label, Wajad de Lana Jai. I Yanarf Jamadil Gaini Fakurasa. These prisoners of war, they are thinking of coming. They will come up with something. And it's true to his word. The day the formation happened, the day Ganamale Elan, Museveni was already up top for Juba. These people are coming tomorrow. Mafa Meshkila, Shufia as well. This is what I'm saying. Don't go along with what they're saying. Listen to it all diplomatically. Thank you for killing South Sudanese, but don't listen to these prisoners of war. They may ask you that they want to visit Kir or the Riek Machar. Don't say yes. Say no to it. They will do nothing. If they want to say a lot, I will be there to talk about it. Simple as that. So M7 is a destructive person. He's a destructive leader in Africa. Because he's distracting. He's making sure things that are supposed to go. Probably that when you look at the way Tumaini went and Kasar Korano Fizawi, Mamaru, Hayaga, or Amshi Bewet, Hayargut for the side, he's part of that, making sure that should happen. Because that was when his governor made a mistake and went straight to William Ruto instead of going to him. Did you people see that? Or you never thought about it? Initiative Kir should have gone to Nairobi to Kampala. I want you to reach out to the holdout groups and the oppositions so we can start a new talk. No, he didn't do that. He went straight to William because now there is Maslah. William is still a little bit. Now he can start with that one. William has a good relation with America. Okay, maybe and that doesn't sit well, Mama Museveni. Okay, that doesn't sit well. That game didn't play well. That's why Tomaine is dying naturally. Just like we said right from the start, is dying. Part of the cause factors, diseases that are kill Tomaine is Museveni. So he is the region. He is the grand president of South Sudan, or what I see flying around the social media. What they call it? Sudiganda?
Sudan, whatever they call it.
Uganda.
People are talking about make up names for South Sudan and Uganda, all of that. So that I will stop there. That is, I didn't want to say 3 minutes, but now I got that 3 minutes. Go ahead, compatriot Mohammed.
Sudiganda.
Now the Sudiganda flag is out as well. It has its unique flag.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know, honestly, the video that I just play, Queenie tells us a lot, and I'm not gonna add much compared to actually compared to the lion have studied it all. Looking at the claim, this is the claim that he knows the situation in South Sudan. And by the way, any person that think that he's an expert in South Sudan issue is a lie, because this ethnic cleansing that has been going on for years and is only been tied to the politics of today, because there is a struggle of ethnic control. The same scenario, I can say this, the same scenario that break these reasons up into two reasons then is exactly is going on today. If you were to read to even to go back to the stories before the redivision of South Sudan, the same scenarios that Kir regime is applying. Honestly, the same scenario. So on that note, Nimeri was wise enough to separate this reason into three, so that everybody will remain in their own cocoon and they will live in peace. But now the catch up is that now we call ourselves now a nation. We have so-called a federal government that is all run by one family. Okay. And the rest of the ethnic group that coming from that tribe is now in charge of so many wealth areas of the area important in the government of South Sudan. And for Museveni to know that he is an expert in knowing the issue of South Sudan, then he should prescribe the remedy to the people if he really knows the solution of South Sudan. But that is just an assertion that, honestly speaking, I don't know what he's talking about. Having a refugee in your hometown of 1 million, you never took those people for studies lab or do a research and ask them, what are your problems? What are the problems of South Sudan? What is that you are running from there here? And then this report will be compiled and they give it to him. Say, now, yes, I'm an expert. I know what is going on in these people after interviewing millions of the refugees. But those refugees, like any refugees during the time of Uganda, remember there was a period in Uganda where Uganda is changing the presidents almost every month, with a coup. There was millions of Ugandan in South Sudan, especially in the Equatorial region, even all the way to our own villages, whereby up to now, schools that were built for them and everything were still there. It's still there up to today. And some of them even remain in the area. They never come back to Uganda during the repatriation. And now they have to come to Uganda after the war breakout. There is a war that break out in 2016, 2013. And up to now. So looking into that doesn't mean that you're expert in this area. I think he kind of went overboard of saying, I know the problem South Sudan. Because honestly speaking, for any person that think that he know the problem South Sudan from outside, it's a lie. We, the Southern Sudanese, we know who are the cause of the problem. And why this problem now become wider, is spread like that. Because payback time. The regime current right now, the regime that are officials that are running this government that they have, they feel that now they have to pay back to any other ethnic group that they never been controlled into. And it goes back to what Trabi was saying, that this group of individuals, they like to rule the country without development. And the more likely will cause, if you go deep in those courts and you start analyzing what other things Trabi have said about them, their violent behavior that can be exhibited in any other form if they don't get what they want is has been spelled out. And indeed, I saw us to the world and so did the world that this individual cannot govern the country. Because first and foremost, knowing that we have a ethnic cleansing that is going on in South Sudan for years of cattle wrestling and tribe against tribe fighting each other, especially the Dinga, the Nuer in Upper Nile, and the Dinga and other ethnic groups of South Sudan. In any other conflict, Dinga is always involved in. And if the government were to be from the get-go, were to be putting procedures, if there's a presence of law enforcement in the country, and the prosecution of evidence of crimes that have been committed on right on the get-go, we will have a better country today. But there was a lack of law enforcement right from the beginning of the establishment of the country. There was no laws in the first place. The parliament that is supposed to be interactive to make the laws, at the time when the parliamentarians were elected, they never even passed any single law that can can create the security or can punish individuals that are aggressively either cattle riders or communal violence that have been exhibited. Never. They never interact those laws. America, when you look at America today, why America become a land of the law and the land of law enforcement, that everything being posed to the people by law. If you guys understand, if you attended this movie called Wild West in America, by then America was lawless. But because there was a fighting, you can go and rob this, they will go rob that one, this will go rob that one. But because of the presence of the law enforcement, that the sheriff, which is the second institution of law enforcement in US, the first law enforcement was the postal law enforcement. Can you believe that the post office even has the law enforcement? The first law enforcement in US was the post office law enforcement, because they feel that the post office law enforcement are without any jurisdiction, because they can deliver mail from corner to corner. They can investigate mail fraud. They can investigate bank robbery. They can investigate a lot of things that can happen. They don't have a what? These are all federal. And then all of a sudden, sheriff come in, which is a county. Now, creating of these two elements has established United States to the point that if you commit a crime, you pay for it. Up to today, United States crimes, if you commit a crime, you will never go for free. You will be punished, even in 100 years, even though you run away. So the absence of law in South Sudan is what we are paying for it now. And the proliferation of weapons among those so-called cattle keepers and citizens has created insecurity in South Sudan in a wide range. But the government turned blind eyes. They want to use, in fact, they're using the local people that has the cows, cattle keepers, to terrorize other groups of people. So it's now a flashback. It's too late. So any government that is coming on after the outset of Salva Kiir has a lot on his own hand to play. And the first thing that for it to have a nation is law and order, but not like those of even in Uganda today. Uganda today, you can see that murder are not appearing in any corner unnecessarily, because the police are there, even though the police are a little bit corrupt. But hey, they're there. They make sure that they maintain law and order in their places. But the one of South Sudan today, nothing. Did you ever see any policeman really working? No. When things happen, the policemen take an ethnic line. That's how it works. And in South Sudan right now, this ethnic division We don't know how we're going to be resolved. But only law can be able to prevent this thing from happening. Whether your law enforcement individual that want to take the ethnic route, you'll be punished because you have violated the law. That is supposed to be it. But our neighbor cannot really say that he knows more about the problem in South Sudan. When somebody run to your house, coming for cover, you may not say, Mohammed, you run to Lion's house. Lion know all your problem. Absolutely not. Because I probably never even tell you all about my problem. You know why I run to your house. Okay? But he don't know exactly what I'm going through. So for him to claim that he knows he's the expert in the region, that will be a over-assessment of what he think that he knows. So, but I can say he has the title to his opinion, but nobody in the region can resolve the problem in South Sudan. Only South Sudanese himself can resolve that problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, compatriot Mohammed and Nderinda also for your remarks. Welcome, compatriot Rita. Can see you down there. I sent you link earlier in your WhatsApp, but maybe you're busy. That's all good. Yes, between Museveni and Ruto, they're all the same. They both countries are the same. But this time I support what Raila Odinga and William Ruto have done. I understand there is previous stuff happened and possibly they happen ahead of us, but what they have done is that's the proper way of doing things. I did not see him now taking side Marcel Vakir instead. There is a press release from Kenya, I think, well, it got chair. Also mentioning that the problem that happening in South Sudan has been fueled also. The same statement that have been said by Abiy Ahmed. Fi press release also. I think Bita Kenya, Lano Fogo logo Bita Kenya, by William Ruto is being fueled by a neighboring country. So in that one, I see like they have maybe genuine intervention or genuine stem ما دارين يميل في side واحد بتاع مثلا ما opposition ولا ما Salva Kiir. They wanted to see what is happening because زي ما أنا قبل ذكرت the United Nations is putting pressure on them in order for them to investigate or to bring the two leaders together to talk face to face to resolve the matter or resolve the issue in order for them to implement the agreement that they have. ده حاجة. Also for Uganda برضو for the last 2 weeks until Umbare, there is lots of press release against Uganda from Congo. The Congo Authority are accusing Ugandan by supporting the M23. You see, they're supporting the M23, and you know what M23 is doing for Congo. So Uganda got them يعني يوسخ بالدم بتاع مساكين بتاع civilians and all this stuff. They have been called as a criminal of war, and all this thing is going on. There is lots of videos have been released. Also media platforms like African something Africa, I forget the name, also been targeted the Ugandans. Also come journalists from Congo also talking against Uganda. So Uganda is not gonna go just kira. Things might fall apart anytime. Nobody knows, but let us just have our fingers crossed to see what will happen last. So this last video, is just kind of educating people to notice the kind of leaders that people have. Magal fi Junub Sudan Barao, لكن في أي دولة you can see حاجات الليدر بيعملوا ولا مثلا الرئيس بتاع الدولة بيعملوا you will notice زول ده dictatorial or zol a genuine leader that is there. The video is done by one of the American. I can't recall his name, but let me just play it, and I will conclude with this video. أنا قبل كنت داير نجيب واحد من messages بتاع الجنرال بتاع last emergency speech بتاع الفادة, but I don't know in which part. هو كان ادى التصريح على اساس انه كل شباب انتوا لازم تدافعوا نفسكم، اقفلوا الطرق واعملوا. انا ما اعرف ذات فيها تو بارت. I don't know. مولانا انت كان عندك قريب كان بيكون كويس if you don't have it. You're muted. I can't hear you.
All right, now I was muted. Sorry. Yeah, just give me a second. It is a message to the youth.
Yeah. Okay. If you have that, maybe we can conclude with it and leave kalam بتاعت video بتاعت dictatorship that we can come with it next time.
All right, just give me a second.
Yeah.
Let me see if it will come up itself for me, because I'm not in the studio. But you may, yeah, I'm not in studio. But if you go to the to club, if you WhatsApp, it is the message to the youth.
Okay, let me.
Message to the youth and SPLA. That's the one.
That this is number 2.
Number 2 for message to the youth, yeah.
Okay, I think that's the one.
Yep.
Okay, let me.
For message to the youth. Yes, load it up in the audio part. It should work.
I don't know how to load this in audio part, to be honest.
Okay, wherever you loaded that, just play it.
Okay, let me just. I will send it to my other phone and just put it on the speaker. Connect to Bluetooth. Okay.
الرسالة بتاعي للشباب بتاعنا في جنوب السودان في داخل وخارج البلد. أنا بقول لكم مبروك.
صوت واضح؟
للصمود بتاعكم القوي في الدفاع عن المواطنين بتاعنا من القتل والاغتصاب والإهانة وطردهم من الأراضي بتاعتهم بواسطة الميليشيات بتاعت النظام بتاع سلفا كير والجيش بتاعهم. أنا بقول لكم مبروك. مبروك بصفة خاصة للشباب بتاعنا بتاع النوير في الناصر. الأبطال بتاعنا الشباب في الناصر وفي مناطق كثير جدا. المونيوم يجي في الاستوائية والنيرونغو والأروبويس والشباب بتاعنا في بحر الغزال في التونج وفي مناطق مختلفة من في وراء البدو يقاوموا النظام الظالم ده. أنا بنشكركم شباب جنوب السودان. أنتوا بدأتوا تدركوا أن النظام ده ما بيساعد حتى القبيلة بتاعه، حتى خشوميت بتاعهم، إلى الأسرة بتاعهم فقط. أنا بنقول لكم مبروك للسمور بتاعكم، والوقوف بتاعكم القوي أمام هذا النظام. وأنا بنقول لكم النظام ده بقى ضعيف، الجيش بتاعه بقى ضعيف بالميليشيات بتاعه كله، بكل القوى اللي جابوه من برا. أنا بفتكر أنه شعب جنوب السودان هينتصر لأي زول بيخش جنوب السودان عشان يستعمرنا. شعب جنوب السودان قوي، عندنا تاريخ قوي جدا، عندنا تاريخ معروف في المنطقة، فأنتم ما تخافوا. National Salvation Front وقوة بتاعت المعارضة كله في سوما واقفين معاكم، وما بعد أنها هنواصل النضال حتى ما البلد بتاعنا يتحرك. واقفوا قوي، ما تخلوا معهد بتاعنا والنساء بتاعنا وبنات بتاعنا يغتصبون بوسط هذه الميليشيا. ما تخلوا الشعب بتاعنا يهينون. الشباب في كل بلد هم طلائع بتاعت الثورة. انتوا لازم تكونوا قدام، الشعب بتاعنا بينظر لكم لأن عندكم القوة، عندكم الإرادة. أنا هنا واقفين معاكم في ظروف الصعبة. عشان كده بنقول لكم انتوا واصلوا في السيطرة على كل القرى وكل البيامات وكل الكاونتيز، كل أطراف البلد. انتوا ما تقيفوا، واصلوا في الدفاع عن المواطنين بتاعنا في كل مكان في جنوب السودان. أنا شايف الشباب بتاعنا في التونج ماشيين كويسين جدا. أنا بقول لكم بنرسل لكم رسالة الليلة أنه أننا متضامنين معاكم. شباب بتاعنا في رومبيك في اللاجي ستيتس يوم ده انتوا استلمتوا حتى مراكز بتاعت البوليس، انتوا استمروا ما تقيفوا. إذا نحن تحركنا كلنا في كل المناطق في كل القرى في جنوب السودان وفي كل البيامات وفي كل الكاونتيز، أننا هنحاصر النظام بتاع سلفا كير في داخل جوبا، والمناطق دي كلها هتسقط وسلفا كير هيهرب وهيسلم لكم البلد بتاعكم عشان انتوا تقدروا تنظموا البلد بتاعكم وتجيبوا السلام لنفسكم. أنا بقول لكم واصلوا القتال في الدفاع عن الأراضي بتاعكم، عن البلد بتاعكم من الميليشيات بتاع سلفا كير. ما تقيفوا علينا معاكم. أنا أقدم لكم كل المساعدة الممكن، إذا كان مساعدة معنوية أو مادية، عشان كلنا نقدر ننقذ البلد بتاعنا في أسرع فرصة ممكن. ومبروك لكم شباب جنوب السودان، الشباب الموجودين في خارج البلد. انتوا واصلوا تدعموا اخوان بتاعكم الموجودين داخل البلد. ما تقيفوا، ادعموهم معنويا ماديا. انتوا ادعموا الشباب بتاعكم والزملاء بتاعكم والزميلات بتاعكم الموجودين داخل البلد. النظام ده قريب حيفوت، الجنود حتتحرر قريب. بيطلب مننا ان نكون حازمين، بيطلب مننا ان نتواحد باسرع فرصه ممكن. انسى الفروقات بتاعنا القبليه، انسى الفروقات بتاعنا بتاع خشم بيوت، انسى الفروقات بتاعنا الحزبيه. نجي مع بعض عشان ننقذ البلد. بلد بتاعنا عظيم بتمر كله بعد سلفا كير. اذا توحدنا وبيجينا عندنا نظام بتاع حكم نظيف، نظام بتاع حكم ديمقراطي، نظام بتاع حكم اللي بيرفض كل الحاجات دي، الجنوب بتاعنا بنرجعها بأسرع فرصة ممكن، وممكن تنافس كل الدول الموجودة في المنطقة. أنا بقول لكم أقفلوا كل الطرق. أنا بنقول لكم شباب بتاعنا النظام ده منتهي، البوليس بتاعته الميليشيات بتاعته تعبانين منتهين. انتوا استلموا البيامات، أقفلوا الطرق ده كله، الطرق كل الماشية للعاصمة جوبا، الطرق الماشية لكل الكاونتيز وكل المناطق. اتحركوا، اطردوا البوليس بتاعه كله والميليشيات بتاعته كله من المناطق دي. انتوا هتشوفوا جوبا هيركع، سلفا كير والنظام بتاعه هيركع لشعب جنوب السودان بشكل بسيط جدا. النظام ده هيركع. أنا هنا نشوف حرب بتاع الدفاع عن أنفسنا وكرامة بتاعنا وحقوق بتاعنا في داخل جنوب السودان. عشان كده بقول لكم اتحركوا ما تتأخروا. البلد اللي بقى فاضي يا جماعة، البلد بقى فاضي. الجيش بتاعنا بتتلحق أيوة الجيش الشعبي الناضل زمان في تحرير جنوب السودان لمدة 21 سنة المشتت، هم ذاته ما عندهم الرب عشان يقاتل وهيدموا لنا فاسرة فرصة ممكن. وأنا بنقول لكم يا جماعة زمن جاء اتكاتفوا مع اخوان بتاعكم الشعب بتاعكم، رجع الكرامه بتاعكم الثوري، رجعوا الكرامه بتاعكم والتاريخ بتاعكم. الدمار الفقير وخلاكم تكونوا مكروهين. الجيش الشعبي اللي كان معروف، الجيش القوي في المنطقه كله، رجعوا التاريخ بتاعكم ده أول زمن عشان انتوا تقيفوا مع الشعب بتاعكم مره ثانيه. انتوا لازم تقيفوا مع الشعب بتاعكم عشان الشعب بتاعنا ما ينسوا الجميل بتاعكم والتطهير بتاعكم بتاع 21 سنه. Actually,
I think that's all what I need to conclude with. The message is from محل خاص من قلب للشعب الجنوبي بالذات ليوث شباب to stand up and stand strong and get your right. شيل حق بتاعك ده، حقوق ما بيجي لحد عندك في باب. You have to fight for it. Freedom has been given to you now to close all the roads الماشي لجوبا، كان من نملة road، ياي road، يا تو شارع المهم القاشي لجوبا ده. These roads should be closed. And he promised to help in any way. He promised to help in any way, معنويا ولا ماديا according to his message. الباقي ده عليكم انتوا شباب بتاع جنوب السودان. دولتكم وانتوا ياهو اللي عندكم حقوق عشان تمسكوا البلد ده تقدموه قدام. البلد ده باقي ده لليوث to take care of this country. بلد الأجدادكم شاكلوا علشانه 50 سنة، الأبهاتكم شاكلوا من أجله قريب كم 50 سنة. That's message coming from a strong position فوق confidence. I can see that. So can I يزول عنده كلام منكم jump in for a couple of minutes, then we can close the live. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Queen. Indeed, the message is touching and the message is real. That the UDB should take destiny into their own hands to protect themselves, and that is really something that is ingrained in human right, that you have to protect yourself. And the message of the CNC to the people of South Sudan is protect yourself, and to our gallant forces that are in every corner of South Sudan is to carry out the work that need to be done in order to rescue South Sudan. This is not a joke, and that message is going straight. Based on my receiving end, I heard that there was a joy when this message was shared in refugees camps, and you can see that two people are gathering together listening to one smart radio. I mean, Zola in this clubhouse has a smartphone. It's a pity, but our people are getting the message, and we believe that this is our golden opportunity for all the South Sudanese to take destinies in their own hands, to liberate themselves, not to wait for nobody. As a commander in chief, why he's speaking like that? He's encouraging the South Sudanese to do better, not to know their rights, and their rights should not be infringed by this raw regime, that they can kick them out, they can do whatever they need to do. And I think the message of CNC is clear. And for those who are going to be hearing this, going to be looking on landing zone, it is important that you take this message seriously and share with the rest of the people that are your Facebook friends, that they can be able to get it. And my message also to all of you tonight is very simple: be a brother's keeper and sister's keeper. Do not let yourself be deceived by the regime loyalists that may come to the camp or to the village to lure you to join their ranks. Recently, we have seen the attempt of some elders from Equatoria, especially Central Equatorial region, that they managed to come to Uganda to come in and recruit. They say they want to recruit militias to Bolmel. Bolmel need to go and recruit his own militias from somewhere, not from Equatoria, because our brothers, our sons and daughters cannot be killed to go and fight their own brothers whom they are not being taken care of by this regime. You have the militias in Juba. Why don't you pay those militias first before you send them to the front line to die? But for those who fight for the cause, they don't need to get paid. For those youths that know that their safety is pronounced important, and the well-being of their family safety is very, very important for them, they need to take this message seriously and do something for themselves. We as a Southern Sudanese, we are on the crossroad whereby either we perish all, some of them will die of hunger, or we die of gunshot, or there's not going to be no country called South Sudan if we're not careful. Because the Jeng tribal regime is decided to put his own people in power in order to oppress the rest of you. Even some Jengs in the village that has not even clean water, is not even walking naked. You need to wake up. You need to wake up. This is not the fight for other groups that are not they be marginalized. They are fighting for all. We all need to work hard hand to hand together, whether in Rumbek, in Tonj, in everywhere. See yourself in the mirror. Get up in the morning, see yourself in the mirror as a young man. What will ask yourself? What is your future for tomorrow? Are you don't have nothing to show up for? No education, no even any capital. If you get sick, you die. No even medical facility that can treat you. Are you waiting to die for that, or you can fight to liberate yourself so that you can have a better tomorrow? So thank you, compatriot Lion and compatriot Queen, for giving the opportunity, and we're looking forward to for the next episode that is gonna be coming. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Maulana.
All right. I think the only thing I can say is that this has been a great time. The discussions has been fruitful, especially when you played the message to the youth by our Commander-in-Chief General Thomas, which complements the discussions that we've had for the past 3 hours and a half or so. The fact that he's called to the youth, that call resonates with all the discussions that we've had. If the regime is bringing in foreign troops to fight our people, then our people, it's the right time for our people to stand up, to rise up. The youth, as it is anywhere in the world, the youth are always the nucleus of any uprising. That call for the youth to rise up and to close the routes, the roads, the highways, and whatever they can do to bring down the regime, that call is in full effect. We have support teams in place to assist the youth anywhere they are. And that is a serious thing. It's not just kalam. So there is that already, that's a kalam in effect. And the youth are getting themselves ready to do what they can do. And of course, with the pressure from the youth and our our men and women who are still serving the regime in different capacities, and those in different wherever they are, will find their way out when the time is right. But the reality should be, and it should be clear to the people of South Sudan, is that the pressure is up now. The pressure cooker is working its way. That call for the youth has taken its effect, and all the mechanisms required are in place, working. We've already seen some light of it happening, and it is working in other places. So it is steady coming. The effect of it, of course, أنصار الفتاة، أنصاف أنصار الفتاة 4 أنصاف أنصار الفتاة وثمن 4 أنصاف الفتاة. The surrogate kids of Young Council of Elders, the regime supporters, would jump up and down and tell you, the kalam sakit, the question is, what did Mathianganyar do? Until Mathianganyar, you went and brought a properly trained UPDF to come and support you. So Uganda is already tasting what it means to fight innocent people. The few coffins that have gone back to Uganda has starting things up for Uganda. And if some more has to go back again, as of from Mayom, we don't know how much for Yomen Alfad, how many coffins of Ugandese will be going back, Ugandan UPDF. So as those coffins start mounting up, pressure is going to be up in Uganda. And guess who pressure is probably who's making the pressure? It won't be from the soldiers or anyone. It will be from the Ugandese people. People just like people in South Sudan.
Mm-hmm.
So the call of our chairman and commander-in-chief, General Thomas, is in place. And it is effective. It is effective. The dictator, Hosni Mubarak, was taken out, not by the military or by anyone. He was taken out by the people. And it started with the youth. Bin Ali was taken out, not by the military or anyone, but by the people. And it started with the youth as well. And many examples. So
Bashir Omar al-Bashir.
Yeah. So that's our nearest example. Bashir was taken out, not by the military. It was taken out by the people, and the nucleus of that people's movement was the youth. Yeah. So the supporters and anyone who's pro the regime, you can فنجر خشمك زي ما انت عايز، ما في مشكلة، ده خشمك انت حر فوقه. But you need to realize the fact that when it start taking place, you better be quick to change your color so the people know you're on their side. Because those people who are talking around, who are supporting the regime, a time will come whereby things will be too hot. And I don't believe Beit al-Makubana of Kakuma Camp will take all of you. That refuge bed without it will only for himself and his family. So he will not allow all of you to be in it. So when UN comes to him, none of you will be able to get a piece of it because he will not allow it. So you will be and even then, by then, we will be going to check the camps, looking for those supporters who are we'll be looking for them. So be on the side of the people of South Sudan. So that's the call. It's never late. Nobody will stop you. It's never late. That call is genuine call for the youth. And the youth is not a specific youth. It is all the youth of South Sudan. So you have to be out there. Make yourself clear. If you want to get to some of our support team, we will know how to get you to them. But you need to be clear. Come clear, and we'll figure out your way. Thank you so much. And thank you, Quinn, for this session. It has been great. And for the viewers, those who are watching us, it has been a pleasure coming live after a while. Thank you so much.
Okay. Oh, what did I do? Okay. Thanks, compatriot and Commissioner Maulana Daniel Lee. After you have said everything, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just here to say thank you to compatriot Mohammed and those who are today with us here. It's good to be with us today, and through your comments and likes that you have done, Rabbana Barakak. And don't forget, Inta kan jit gabli shawaya, share live the video to those who are not here today. And we'll meet again in the next session by God's grace, with different topic. Arena shafin fi lisa junub gadi bubble, like it's just like Burkano ya gadi duk fi junub. So different topic will appear here and then من يوم الليلة لحد يوم السبت الجاي هيكون في حاجات كتير ظهرت. So زي ما أنا قلت, I'm not going to speak a lot. I will just play the last song. Stay tuned, guys. We'll meet again next week. Share the live video. زي ما أنا قلت. Let me just play this. Oops.
Hallelujah. I've got nothing more to worry about. Oh. Nothing to worry about at all. I've got nothing more to worry about. See, I got nothing else to worry about. Jesus is on my side. Oh. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I've got Jesus Christ on my side. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I've got Jesus Christ on my side. No worry can steal my happiness. I've got Jesus Christ on my side. No disease can steal my health away. I've got Jesus Christ on my side. So let me sing and testify. Oh, Jesus, yeah, my Savior. Polo, Yesu la, Yesu la na wakipa, ayeti ukipa la la, Kuriemu wachan mayam yeraya, Yesu la na wachan, ayeti ukipa la la, Uchan watu mayam yeraya, Yesu chawa wachan, ayeti ukipa la la, Kuriemu wachan mayam raraya, Yesu chawa wachan, ayeti ukipa la la, miel ma miel lipa miel noba. Yes, you me awura bai kuona. En pie ma pie lipa pie noba. Yes, you me awura bai kuona. Polo, yesola. Yesola na wakipa. Ayeti ukipa la la. Kuriemu wachan mayam yeraya. Yesu loya wawajan, ayeti ukipa la la, uchan watu mayam yeraya. Yesu